Hey gang, Darby here. Great news. We got Brent to show up on the recording. The unfortunate news is he was super freaking loud. So as it turns out, the audio quality on this leaves a little something to be desired. We've tried to work the levels a little bit. We basically had to cut out some of the intro music and splice some in, so there's a little bit that's missing, but we are not about to go back and record again. We promise that we are working our shit out here, but a lot of this is brand new for us, and there's still some good content in here, so go ahead and take a listen and just suffer through a little bit of audio quality with us. Thanks a lot.
Now, shall we begin?
You are now listening to an altogether less fashionable variety of soccer podcast. Broadcasting live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to
ACES Radio.
I got the new wings with the Zima flavor sauce.
I've given this no thought whatsoever.
Hashtag probably right in cock.
They're in your face, they're a little different. I think it's super cool. I love them. Jamie, ignorant slut.
Hold on to your butts.
Now, here are your hosts, Morgan Hughes, John Zadar, and Darby Schnarpus.
No,
I thought you were going to fade it out and turn it off.
I thought you were going to do literally anything but just sit there.
So
you told me that you wanted to let it run.
No,
that is what you said.
Track?
It's like 6.5.
Okay, why would I want that to play for 6.5 minutes?
I don't know. That's what you said earlier. You're like, just let it.
That is not what
just
I
go
said.
ahead and let it go.
Does Howard Stern have this problem with his production
His
team?
name is Baba Booey, and they hit him.
Brent, can you come down here?
Apparently.
Yeah, right,
So.
yeah. No, I checked with HR. We're allowed to hit.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Anyways, okay. Welcome back. What did we say we liked from last week? Shitlords, edgelords, and bezlords.
Yes.
All right.
You're listening to ACES Radio.
Yeah, you are.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio, not Cincinnati, Ohio.
No.
First week of the crew season is under our belts. How excited are you guys to be back into the throes of MLS?
Very excited to be tailgating. It was a beautiful day. We had nice sunshine, a little windy, but
how was your face at the end of the day?
A little chappy.
Yeah, I got smacked around by Daddy Nature a little bit.
Yeah? Got a little bit of windburn, a little bit of sunburn, a little two for action there?
Yeah, I felt like a little chafe, like inner thigh chafe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe you
That's
should
interesting.
put your inner thighs away in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And not leave them
I
exposed.
don't know about that, though. Get some sun on them, dude.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Right. You want to get them.
Sun's out, inner thighs out.
You don't want to hit Speedo season with pale thighs.
That's true.
Right.
I mean, and now that we have like Brazilian and South American players, they really up the tan line game because they like their high tan
by
lines.
the time the season's in full
You
swing.
do want your meat to be done properly.
Yeah, right.
You don't want it undercooked.
That's right.
Sure. No. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started with the recap for our first game, the home opener against New York City FC, which I've heard on the streets. It's always good when your home opener is at home. I was told that by a few people this week.
I've never heard that. In fact, that phrase has never been said in the history of mankind.
People have been attributing it to you. So,
no. It's amazing what our producer can do with audio editing. Actually, no, I can't even pretend that's true.
Turns out Bront doesn't know how to do anything. Darby, what are your thoughts on our home opener?
Do you want to go through like the?
Yeah, we can break it down. I forgot we were going to do that.
Yeah, we're learning.
It's fine. I'm getting better at this. Okay, so your starting lineup for the Cruisers are Harrison Offal, Mensah, Valenzuela, Vito Wormgoor, or however you pronounce that. Did we decide?
I think it's Wormhoor.
It's Wormhoor.
Yeah. Wormhoor.
Sure? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vito the Destroyer.
Vito the Whore Warmer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That fills out your back line there. Of course, you've got your Eloy Room and net. You've got Arturo and Darlington Nagby playing in the center of the pitch there with Lucas. And what are we doing here?
Celarayan.
Is it Celarajan?
Yeah.
Zelarajan. rounding out the center midfield with Mokhtar and Santos starting on the wings and Zardes up top. We've got eventually appearances by Chris Cadden, Luis Diaz, and Fernando Adi. Very limited minutes for Cadden there, but Diaz got a good amount of time. Adi, not so much. Do we want to break down the opponents? I don't remember.
No. But, I mean, you can, when the goal is scored.
Goals by Lucas Zelarayan. That DP money already being put to good use in the 56th minute with the red card for Maxime Chenot.
Maxime Chenot.
Maxime.
Yes.
I don't know. Fucking weird-ass French names.
2 minutes in?
3 minutes in.
3 minutes in.
3 minutes in.
Yeah.
Poutine Chenot.
3 minutes into the beginning of our first game of the season, and the ref ruins it. That's my hot take. There you go.
Okay.
So, yellow cards to the whore warmer, the floor warmer.
That's Pedro.
Harrison Awful. Yeah. Pedro Sanz already got his first yellow. Spent a lot of time on the ground this game, so I'm not shocked that is has been given for dissent.
Well, I think that's kind of ridiculous, though.
Wasn't that a thing? Didn't he go to the Nordec and sort of get them to yell at the ref or something? That's what I heard. I don't know.
No, he was actually yelling at the sideline ref.
Oh, he was yelling at the AR.
Wasn't it a blatant missed call on
yes,
an
it was.
Ball?
It was very bad.
Few of those.
Yeah. Well,
that sideline ref was awful the entire game.
Well, what happened to the what is it called? Group confrontation?
Oh, yeah, that's apparently not a thing.
That was not a thing.
They've never
just
carded
not
for
a
that.
thing, and New York could have had plenty of cards for that. That was
Anyways, to wrap up the stats here, Crew outshot New York 14-7. On target shots look good. 6 of those 14 are on target. 6 corners, 34 crosses. We were crossing a shitload.
More than any other team this weekend.
Also, probably more than any other team this weekend. Those crosses went to no one. And then a possession stat of 62%. So, pretty good, pretty dominant performance. Granted, they were down a man the entire game. So, Darby.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's, one of those things that it's hard to draw too many conclusions between it being the first match of the season and literally going 87 minutes up a man. That being said, New York did a good job of getting compact and parking the bus. And in the first half, certainly the Crew didn't really have an answer for that. They really seemed content to just sort of pass around the perimeter and hope for an opening that never arose. The cross stat is one that jumped out at me because you would think being down a man, that gives you more motivation to play up the middle, go a little more direct, and the team did not choose to take that approach. But I think the second half was very different. I think the Crew got more comfortable. They started dominating a little more. And then, obviously, that's when the goal of the game came in. So,
the goal of the game. Lucas has made his appearance. He's made his status known here. Alex, what do you think? What were your thoughts on it? That's not my phone. That's Bront's phone.
That was not Bront's phone. Bront's phone doesn't make that noise.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, as billed, but that was just beautiful in the box. He made it look easy. I mean, he shucked that guy off and did the spin and threw it in the back corner of the net. It was beautiful.
With his weak foot.
Yeah, I mean, it was wild. It was really nice.
Yeah, left-footed curler. I mean, the placement was... I don't think it gets better.
I saw some insane stat, though, about Nagby on Twitter.
I'm sure it's fascinating.
Something crazy. He completed 97% of his passes.
It didn't miss a single pass in the first 75 minutes of the game.
Oh, that's
just something ridiculous. It's unheard of. So
that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that'll lead us into another thing we're going to talk about here, which is who of the new guys impressed you most. We're going to jump over that second thing and touch on it last, but it makes most sense to go right into that. So
I mean, yeah, I'd say
maybe not even necessarily the new guys, the old guys too, but
for me, Nagby.
Okay.
There were some disappointments too, though.
Well, let's talk about those here in a second. Okay. Who's your biggest surprise on the day, Darby?
The biggest surprise. See, this is tough because part of me wants to say Vito, but I'm actually going to go with Valenzuela. I know he's not a new guy, but since he wasn't playing last season, he came in, he played 90 minutes. I think he had, we'll ask Brent the stat man, I think this was a Jacob Myers special. He had the the fourth highest passer rating among all players in the league who played 90 minutes.
So he confirmed, Bront?
Sure, confirmed.
Yeah. I mean, he came in.
You were given the tip that you were going to be cut to, and you decided to just sit there instead of try to find the answer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he took forever to say what the actual thing was, so I couldn't really look it up.
He said it's a
Just
Jacob
taking
Myers
no blame.
hot take.
Yeah.
All right.
That was like
at any rate
before he cut to me. It's not
Valenzuela was. I mean, he was very involved in the offense. He came back and made a couple of key stops on defense. At no point did he look gassed. I mean, he was running the entire time, and I think he was kind of giving people fits. And that's what you want in a game like this. We had guys who were just able to run them ragged. And for me, he was the most pleasant surprise by a narrow margin over Vito.
Okay. Yeah. I think I would probably have to go with Nagby as well. I think he seemed to be the most impressive for me on that day. I was a little underwhelmed by Lucas. I didn't think he showed up a whole lot outside of his goal, but he did what needed to be done to get the 3 points, so I'll take that. I'm happy with that. Our last point here, real quick, is something that I'm not familiar with, so it must have just been announced today, is an injury to the whore warmer.
Right.
What is the deal with this? Do you want to break it down for us, Darby?
Sure. Basically, he wasn't in practice today, or he was in street clothes. I think it was an ankle injury that came very late in the game. There was that tackle right near the end.
A while there.
Yeah. And we had just used the last sub on Cadden, I believe, so there was nobody to come in. So he stuck it out, but it sounds like it's bothering him at least a little bit at this point. Otherwise, I think he had a great game. It seemed like every 50-50 ball that was anywhere near him, he was right there. He was winning the headers. Half the time he was chesting the ball down because he had so much time and space. He was so well positioned. He didn't have to just fire it upfield. He was controlling it and passing it. So I'm definitely interested to see him moving forward. Hopefully this is just a minor thing.
Okay, so let me ask you, that situation, we're playing 11 on 10. There's 3 minutes left, and Vito gets somewhat of an injury. Hopefully it's not too serious. But would you rather just see him stay on the sideline and not come back in since it's the first game of the season, or do you like that he came back in to finish out the game?
That's a great question, Brent.
That is, and it's tough because that's one of those that I think you kind of have to rely on the player to be honest in their self-assessment. And I don't know if he's that guy, because he seems like the guy, if his leg was hanging on by a thread, he'd be like, no, I'm fine, put me back out there. But closing the game out, for 3 minutes, if he was comfortable with it, I'm glad he was able to. You get into the final and it's 10 on 10, then New York probably presses the hell out of it and tries to make something happen. But yeah, I mean, I have faith that he, as a professional athlete, knows when he needs to come out and when he can stay in. So I won't second guess that call.
I was impressed by him. I thought there were a few tackles where he went in, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty."
I mean, he's an aggressive tackler,
a little fucking intense. Yeah. I honestly thought that he was going to get a red, which is I was surprised by that behavior, because I know one of the things that I remember seeing people say was he has this shockingly low level of card accumulation throughout his career.
This league's different,
right?
Yeah,
now I'm wondering. What are your thoughts on his play, since he wasn't the guy you said as your standout? What did you think of him on the day?
I mean, he's so imposing.
He's a big dude, right?
Yes.
I was shocked at how large he was.
And he's not monolithic. I mean, he has really great movement. Like you said, he positions himself really well. I mean, it seems like he's smart about what he's doing, aside from some of those tackles. Are just like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I mean, his highlight reel, if you go on YouTube, is full of kind of vaguely Frankie-esque tackles at times.
That's what that one tackle reminded me of. I was like, that is a 2-footed fuck you from behind type Frankie shit.
So I read somewhere or heard that he took goal kicks.
Yeah.
Or he took penalty
and converted
kicks for
a
his
decent
team.
amount of
penalty
them.
kicks.
Yeah. Oh. So he's got a skill set that's kind of wide, and so I'm wondering with his range or comfortability, actually taking dudes on one-on-one, if that's going to be able to provide a little bit of a buffer for Mensah to get back and play it kind of like a sweeper role behind him. It'll be interesting to see those two moving forward, how that works.
I thought it was funny because at one point Nagby did that thing that Will always used to do, where he drops back between the center backs, and it was like little baby boy between him and Normgor and Mensah, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Those are some big boys.
No, New York had a really tiny guy, too.
Yes. Well, Maxime Chanot is, a little... Or no, wait, no, it's Maxime Morales. Who's,
he's just
tiny.
a little shorter stature. Not that that's a bad thing. Those guys are super fast, so...
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good dissection of the match. Let's go ahead and move on to the man ball portion of things here. And we'll go ahead and throw those out, and then we will go back and talk about the thing that Brent wanted so badly to talk about that he put it in here as the show open. But I think we'll do man balls now.
All right.
So, Alex.
Oh, I'm giving the balls first?
I am making you do the balls.
Whip them out and
all right.
Ask the honorary weather man.
Are we going to do like the
two?
Three balls?
No,
or two?
Why do you give 3 balls?
How many balls do you have, Alex?
Well, that's classified.
Well, I'll ask Morgan later.
Ask around. 2. I'd like to give 1 to Milton for the comeback.
For being back.
Yeah, and I think he, like Darby said, going 90 minutes, and it's fantastic to see. I forgot how good he was, so I'm really excited about that. I think that's really great. Man, this is such a tough one. I don't think anybody well, I'll give it to Nagby.
Your boy.
Yeah, I mean, he controlled the midfield. It was really nice.
Can already see who Alex's early favorite is on the team.
No, I'll tell you, my who I think is going to shine the most this season
over the course of
the season is going to be Diaz.
Really?
I think he's got a ceiling that he's a little raw.
Yeah.
Clearly that miss was ridiculous, right? I mean that's inexcusable. But
we didn't even touch on that. Let's do that real fast. What do you guys think of Mokhtar getting the start over Diaz?
So the rumor was that Diaz was slightly injured.
Yeah.
So they kept him out of the starting lineup to somewhat rest him.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it great that those two are interchangeable?
Well, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't. I was disappointed, but I wasn't super surprised because I know Mokhtar was getting a lot of time in preseason games and stuff. So it seems like they're kind of right there.
Dude, I love it. The depth. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to help us a lot.
They're very different skill sets. You're going to get different things from those guys because Mokhtar doesn't have the speed, but he seems like a good possession, calming influence.
He reminds me more of Santos than Diaz does.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like Mokhtar and Pedro are kind of similar, and then Diaz and Etienne Jr. are kind of the other side of the spectrum.
You got your Santos and Mokhtar in your Marum column. And you've got your Etienne and your Diaz and your Finley
column.
Well,
okay.
Or like who's that kid we had that was kind of a hothead? Christian Martinez.
Yes.
He was just in the terrible column.
Well, I mean, but there was some flashes
David
of
Guzman column.
He had the potential to do something, but I think Diaz could polish up to be something quite special. He's so fast. That guy is so fast. I mean, when you put him out there on the wings with our backs, I mean, we'll be able to get behind defenses. Which maybe is why we had so many friggin' crosses.
Yeah, and that shot notwithstanding, he is clearly a talented guy with the ball. He is able to take good shots. He's able to dribble well. That was an aberration. It's
I think he's going to be good this year. Yeah.
All right. Well, but speaking of being talented with the ball, Darby, who do your man balls go to?
My first one's going to go to Vito. I really did enjoy watching him play. I think he changed the complexion of the defense and really is going to allow the defensive midfielders a little more freedom to move forward, frankly. And I'm not even sure that was a yellow card. And watching the replay, it was a rough tackle, but the guy he tackled made a fucking meal out of it. He rolled around like he had been shot in the face.
Interesting.
Did he get ball?
He got a non-zero amount of ball.
I think it's fascinating that you don't think it was even yellow, but Alex and I think it was red.
There were several people.
Red because it's the ref's call, and if he sees a guy flailing around and sees him go get upended, I don't think they're going to.
Did you watch the replay, or are we just talking from the live? It definitely looked worse live than I think it did on television. Okay. I mean, that being said, I can't even argue a yellow because if you want to make that call, there's probably circumstantial evidence, and the ref was clearly trying to make up a little bit for that red card because we have 4 yellows.
What do you mean make up for? Are you saying it should not have been a red?
No, I'm saying he was trying to balance out the game.
Okay.
I think it's interesting because if you look at the match report here, it's listed as unsporting behavior, but Is that just
that's the
designation
blanket
they give
term
for rough tackle?
No,
Yes.
I think rough tackle's a professional foul.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I think MLS only really has like unsporting behavior, dissent, and like mass confrontation as
which
the
is throw that out
categories.
the window.
Yeah,
I'll never use it.
yeah. There's not that. Or time waste.
What does it say on the red card?
It says denial of obvious goal scoring opportunity.
Dogs. Okay. Yeah, they don't give a lot of detail in that breakout, but yeah, I think when you look at it, like there are a lot of yellows that are happening there.
There are 4 yellows to the Crew and 1 to New York.
Yeah, and none of those, to my memory, were especially noteworthy.
I don't
fouls.
remember any of them other than the Vito one.
Yeah,
I don't even remember the Santos one.
Pedro apparently was yelling at the AR on the sidelines.
Oh, that was when he got it?
Yes.
There was a few really atrocious calls made by that guy. Anyways, who's your second man ball? We're dragging here.
Second man ball. Let's go with Lucas. He wasn't very notable in the first half, but I think that was partially the slow pace of the offense.
Can't take
that shot was amazing.
I know. Make a decision.
Well, I'm trying not to cough into the microphone. That's really more your thing than mine. No, I have the end of a sinus.
The president said you could just
That's
go
a
take
Democrat
a
hoax, John.
dose of the flu shot
right.
or whatever.
Yeah, and you should
work.
And you can go to work as long as you're only kind of symptomatic. It's fine. You can go to work. You can go to the movies. You can shake people's hands. It's all good. Yeah.
Do not go to work.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that.
In the second half, I think Lucas's goal is already a goal of the year candidate for the team. That was fantastic placement.
Believe that.
It was really good, and I think we were definitely seeing flashes of what he's capable of.
Okay. Bront? Balls?
I'm going to make our 3 high-profile off-season signings share one, meaning Selo Rajan, Wormhor, and Nagby. They're all going to share a man ball. It was a pretty good performance out of them.
Way to really take a bold stance there.
And then the second one is going to go
to every other player on the roster.
I'm going to give a man ball to Clay Hall of ABC6. That dude's actually been killing it with the Crew coverage. Really appreciate it. And I really appreciated the piece he did on the family of David Robers. Shout out to Clay.
I respect that man ball as much as I disrespect your first man ball. Clay has been doing a great job. He's been doing all the work that Dom refuses to do.
Yeah, ABC 6 has really been jumping on the coverage.
Where is the training facility going to be built?
Are you asking me for real?
No, that was a thing that Dom said in the press conference.
Jeez. Okay, well...
If you pay attention to the Crew, you would know that, John.
Don't get me started. I don't watch the Dom Taberry press conferences.
It wasn't a Dom Taberry press conference.
All right, I'm giving my man balls, and I'm giving them real fast. I'm giving them real hot, and I'm giving them real hard. Nagby and Eloy Room. Nagby for all the reasons we already understand. Eloy Room for getting that first shutout on the books for a new season. He didn't face a lot of shots, but I think it's important to just get that out of the way.
He started off the play that led to the red card.
Yeah,
he booted the ball to Rizan.
No, that would have been an assist.
So that was one of those really heads up kind of plays that made a difference in the game.
Yeah. So there you go. Okay, those are our man balls, and that means it's time to talk about your thing, Bront. Do you want to introduce this?
You want me to introduce it? Okay.
Do you want to do it? Come on.
So since the last episode, some significant thing has happened. DC United officially finished all their paperwork and has acquired Federico Higuain. It's come out in the last couple of days via several interviews from several different people that Pipa has no love lost for Columbus. He said he will always love us and that we will always love him.
I don't think that's what no love lost means, Brent.
No.
Whatever.
How can
you know what I mean?
That we will always love him.
It's a good question, but he said it multiple times.
They will always love me.
He loves Columbus. Okay.
All right, he always will love us.
He will always love us. So, what is your thought on what Crew fan response should be when DC United comes to Mafre Stadium? Should this be a Brian McBride trader situation, given that he signed with one of our biggest rivals, or should this be welcoming back a club legend?
Let me start off, Brent, by saying none of us here has any goddamn business telling other fans how to fan.
That's fair.
And this is the life philosophy I'm trying to take.
But if you were to be extra angry on Twitter one day, like you sometimes are,
and
to do exactly what you hate other people doing,
what
would you do?
I mean, I will not boo him. I feel as though the team did not afford him the opportunity. I think if the Crew had offered him a backup playing role with an assistant coach sort of factor like this, I think he would have stayed here. I mean, his family is still here as of this moment. I think he legitimately has loved being in this city. I mean, we've seen that. And I think it's a damn shame. I think the front office made a mistake by not offering something like that. I also think it's... did we talk about this last week, how it's basically kind of a way to end around the salary cap a little bit?
We touched on it about how coaching salaries doesn't count. Towards your player salary cap.
I mean, DC made a good pickup.
Was it... Brent, you might know. I thought I saw somewhere where it said that the offer made to him by us was not going to involve any playing time, and that's why he wasn't.
That's what he's correct. Right? There was no playing role.
Okay, so we made an offer
to just be a coach or front office member, and
you don't think that's an acceptable offer?
I mean, they're allowed to offer whatever they want.
That's not what I asked. You don't think that's an acceptable offer?
I don't think so because, again, Pedro is our backup number 10, and that's our starting winger. So if you need to go to your backup 10, you've now affected two positions. And I don't think that's what you want because we're also not especially deep at winger this year.
No, we have three starters. 4 if you count Etienne. I don't know a lot about the kid, but...
Yeah, but if Pedro has to move to the 10 for any length of time, you only have one backup winger now. Well, I mean, you've got
that's
Hector.
The game you're playing at any position, right? You're only so deep.
We're 5 deep at center back and 4 deep at winger.
What was he when he came in?
Oh, he came in for
Celerejan.
No, I know. Where did he go?
I think that's pretty much.
He actually played pretty much in the middle.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe they view him as,
and that could be
the backup. I don't know. Which is weird because I thought he wasn't his primary position wingback.
So I've heard a
midfield.
I thought he was a back, like primarily, like John said. But I've heard a couple different people say that they kind of view him as a quote rich man's Hector Jimenez.
Oh, I could say, or at least
I don't love that.
Why not, John?
I won't love it forever either. Just like Pipa.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so that's
okay,
yeah.
So
I wish
you're not happy with just.
I'm not happy, and I don't feel like people have any right to feel betrayed by this because Higuain wanted to be with the team. He wasn't offered a viable position. He has the right to go out and seek employment, even if it's with an Eastern Conference rival.
Okay, Alex, what do you think about Pipa going to our longest, most hated rival that Darby thinks is not a big deal?
I think that it's a business decision, and I think that I would hope we fill out our roster. I mean, what's the roster limit? 30?
Mm-hmm.
Are we not at it?
I don't know. I read something recently that like most MLS teams don't fill it all the way.
Yeah, there's like across the league, there's 75 open roster spots that are being unused among 23 teams.
If he was willing to accept that little amount of money, I mean, there's going to come an Open Cup game here where we're like, shit, here we're throwing out all these backups. If Higuain was out here, I don't know what the agreement was. I think that. From a lot of standpoints, coaching perhaps, but scouting-wise, or the fact that you could put Higuain on a plane and send him to potentially pick players up in South America, like, hey, come back here, let me tell you about this team. There's a little bit of a lure there.
Yeah. Well, and that's not to say that he can't come back and do that once he decides he's done playing. Right?
For sure. You're absolutely correct.
It sounds like that was his big draw.
But I harbor no ill will at the front office, nor do I harbor ill will at Pipa either. I mean, do what you want to do, man. If you want to keep playing, get after it. I'm neutral on the issue. I'm certainly not going to boo him. That's ridiculous. This is not a Justin Miram situation where he was unhappy here. He didn't like being in the locker room, so he went for what apparently were greener pastures and really hated it there. So, and he's certainly not a Kai Kamara, who is apparently trouble everywhere he goes. I mean, this is different than both of those. And we've had players that have come here that have been here for a super short time, half of a season, and they're like, "Oh, I'm homesick," and they leave, and then 2 weeks later they've signed with another team in the league. Like that's just straight up bullshit. I forget. The guy from
Amro Tarek.
He plays for Red Bulls now, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've had a lot of that too.
Center back for Red Bulls, I believe.
So I respect that a hell of a lot less than a situation like this. So
absolutely, yeah, interesting. Bront, are you going to boo him?
I don't think I can. Like, it hurts to see him sign with DC. As you pointed out, our longest, most hated rival. Cannot stand that team. But I don't think that I can stand in the Nordecke and yell traitor over and over again at that man after everything that he's done for this city.
Yeah, I don't see it as a situation where I would be comfortable with booing on a la like how we do with like Bradley or something like that, where every touch of the ball, or even like necessarily when he is just like near the corner or something. But I wouldn't be upset if someone made a traitor style 2-stick like they did with McBride and held it up.
Yeah, so
it's kind of shitty that he went to our like longest term rivals.
I don't
like begrudge him it, because like you said, he's just trying to do what's right for him, and I get that.
But we don't know. Given the choice between Vancouver or DC, I mean, would he have chosen Vancouver?
You can't tell me that DC was his only and like best option.
Well, here's the thing: they were also the ones that reached it. Like, again, I hate it. I don't think he should have signed there. I'm not going to begrudge him it because they reached out, but they are the ones that reached out to him.
Yeah.
So
Also,
if other teams didn't make the first move.
Keep in mind that DC is a 90-minute flight, and there's like 15 flights a day between Columbus and DC. So his one factor could be the ease in which he can go back and forth to his family in that process. You go to Vancouver, that's some fucking work to get back and forth.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so
or you're moving them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in the short term, this might have been like, hey, here's a good way for me to still play, be able to see my family. Like, it sucks. You know, he might not love having gone to another Eastern team, but it seems like this is the best of all possible opportunities for him, other than going to, I mean, goddamn Cincinnati. He could have gone to fucking Cincinnati. Cincinnati probably would have taken him.
I don't think he would have done that, though.
I don't think he would either.
That's not a legacy thing, like, oh, I can't go there because it would piss off Columbus. He saw what a dumpster fire that team was, and he wouldn't touch it.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to be the guy that if, God forbid, he scores against us, he's not going to celebrate. I feel like he has that level of class and respect.
I don't know, though, man. He's fiery.
Well, I mean, if people are booing him for 90 minutes and then he scores, then yeah,
for a
it gives
team
him
that potentially said, "Look, we don't think you still have legs under you, so we can't take a waiver on you." I mean, he's going to be extremely motivated to score a goal in that game.
And that's where
I don't know, because I think that the fact that they offered him a job is less offensive.
But they said that they didn't think he was capable of playing. That's going to motivate him again, especially against us.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if they were like, "Fuck it, we're done with you completely," I could understand having that like fire. But I think the fact that they like expressed that they wanted to keep him around, they just didn't think they could make it work as a player.
Oh yeah, that blunts it for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think it sounds like from I don't know if they're just throwing it out there, but it sounds like it was somewhat amicable and understandable for both parties, which I think is best for everyone concerned.
Right.
Yeah. There's not going to be shit talking going on.
Kamara Twitter videos of him taking the trash bag out to the dumpster or whatever the fuck that was that he did. Okay,
careful,
anyways.
Careful, we're going to bring him back.
Shut the hell up.
All right, this is the last time you're allowed to set up a
he could end up in Cincinnati.
Well, he already was in Cincinnati.
Yeah, they tried.
Oh, that's right. He was there for like a day, wasn't
it? It wasn't even a day. It was literally like 3 hours.
All right, well, did I do my man balls? Yeah, so we're done. That's it. That's man balls. That's segment one. Bront, do the thing that you're here to do. You're so fired up, and you're too busy flicking your little wiener over there to Higuain.
Yep, that's
you don't have the music ready.
That's exactly what happens.
Or he has failed to accurately line up the music.
How soon has a producer ever quit a podcast?
I don't know, but I'm angling to get us the record. You guys already know that we are being joined today by Alex Thomas, Uncle Sportman, the king of all trolling when it comes to ACES Radio. Everything that we don't know, where it came from.
I don't know about that, man. That's
you were the grandfather of ACES Radio trolling. Others have come after you.
You were the meat,
nobody came before you.
You were the meat puzzle thing. You were the mysterious beeping noise. I'm blaming it all on you, okay?
Well, we'll never know.
Also, nobody clipped the words meat puzzle out. Fucking weird.
Old meat puzzle.
Anyways, we're gonna continue our new segment 2 here, which is what are we? Do we have a title for this, Darby? What are we calling it?
I don't know. What you're into, I think, is what I've been calling it in my brain.
We're gonna refer to this segment from now on as "What's Your Kink?"
What's your kink?
Oh,
yes.
right.
Oh, actually, yeah, I like that.
And Darby is going to explore the world of Alex as friends,
as they do. Right?
Yeah. There's not gonna be any weeness. This is all gonna be you-ness.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is all about you. So just as a refresher for those of you out there, segment 2 is no longer guest interviews unless somebody is coming on who's like really cool and interesting. But we're tired of hearing all your damn stories. So this is sort of a way of building community within the crew fan base and talking about the kinds of stuff that we're into times other than game days. And you, as our fill-in guest host today, get to be the lucky guy who talks about the thing that he's into. So this is essentially your 5-minute TED talk on a thing that you're passionate about. So what have you got for us, Alex?
Man, it's putting me on the spot a little bit, and I think it's difficult because
if you'd listened to episode 1, you'd know this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and if only there were a long break in between segments where you had time to think about it.
I listened to episode 1, but I didn't intend to be here tonight to be on segment 2. But we'll figure all of this out. Yeah. So that's a difficult decision, Drabs. But thanks for asking.
I mean, you're a guy who has a lot going on in his life. You've got passions and interests.
I have a ton of passions. I have a ton of interests.
This is where you do the smoke weed drop, Brent. By the way, just remember in future.
No, I did that last week.
You can use it more than once.
Nope. Alex
Drops don't expire.
Nope.
They don't die of old age, like me.
That joke is already played out, and as you know, Drabs on ACES Radio, we only use a joke once.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, right. Well, currently, I work in archaeology, so that's pretty fantastic.
You work in archaeology?
Yep.
So, I mean, are you in a new job? Because before you were like tromping around rural farmers' fields, like
looking
getting
for
shot
archaeological
at.
Stuff.
Yeah. So is it still the same?
Yeah. So So yes, I used to do that, and
Alex, you used to be an archaeologist, and now you're an archaeologist. Right. What's the difference?
Well, you got to be careful what you're good at, right? So I got really good at the mapping software. So I became a piece of office furniture. So no longer am I out, in these beautiful vistas looking for really cool artifacts and stuff. I just take all the data that the guys bring back from the field and convert that into readable data to submit to the state. So essentially, I mean, I like to say it's pretty much like illustrating children's books. I have to take all this complicated stuff and boil it down into images that when a reviewer's reading through the report, it correlates with what's in the text. And hopefully, if I've done my job right, I could hand that map, or they call them figures, I could hand that to somebody that knows nothing at all about archaeology, and they could make good sense of it.
So you could hand it to someone really stupid like Bront.
I could hand it to Bront, and Bront could be like,
He was already laughing. He knew where you were going with that.
So, and I know that's really dry. That doesn't light everybody's fire. Sometimes it lights my fire. When it gets really complicated, it's pretty cool. And when we find really cool stuff, it gets really cool. But day in, day out, it's very repetitive. But I really like it. And I don't know. I feel like younger people today, like in their teens or 20s, could very easily do what I do. But I don't think that they know that the opportunities out there that this stuff exists, like geospatial
so
information.
You're wanting some youth to come along and steal your job.
I'm putting it out there that if anybody has a teen or a kid, or if anybody's in their early part of their career and they wanted to know more about this, I'm more than happy to teach anybody everything I know about it, because I think whether it is Domino's looking to find out the best routes for them to deliver pizzas, or it's me trying to tell the state where this, and this was found, or it's a civic body trying to find out the demographics of their population and represent that graphically, the programs and stuff that are out there that is just like run-of-the-mill, like industry standard right now, has so many freaking uses, and I never knew about it until I started this job. And it's very easy to pick up, and it pays really well. Not for me, but not for me.
In theory,
but they're city jobs.
Well, why does it pay really well?
Let me explain something.
But not for you.
I didn't go to school for that, so I'm not like, I didn't go through and get certified in a program. I fell into this. So at the
but you're doing it.
I'm doing it really well. Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, but it's like sometimes
if you have that stupid paper.
Well, you know how that's how that works. I don't have a degree. I don't have a college degree.
And you're a government employee, right? Is it?
Well, we submit reports to the state, so we're an independent contractor. But for example, right now Columbus has a position open that I think starts at $35 an hour and tops out at like $47.
It's doing like what you do.
I read the description, doing less than I do.
So why? So.
But I think that they want you to have be a GIS certified person and all that. So I'm just saying,
government jobs
if people wanted to get familiar with it, come on by. I can show you a bunch of really cool artifacts and give you the rundown. Now, that's the boring part. I went to school for aviation maintenance, so I'm really into airplanes and aviation and stuff. I like a lot of that. I don't have much to offer other than I'm like a.
You don't have a pilot's license, do you? I
have my commercial drone operator's license.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've logged some hours, at the helm of a plane, 3, nothing crazy. But I feel pretty confident I could certainly take a smaller plane off, and I could probably land it.
I feel like the landing is really the most important.
I'm not scared of that, though. Like, I think I could do it.
You're not scared of the death?
Right. He's like, as long as I have a parachute.
I'm not scared of putting it on the ground. I think I could do it. Yeah. Twin engine, like a King Air with two
double propellers.
Yeah. I think I could do it. Certainly a little Cessna wouldn't be a problem.
Certainly.
So,
I mean, I'm not climbing into the plane with you then yet.
Well, we might be able to here soon, and I know you guys are into.
The three of us?
You guys are into video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is coming out. It says 2020 in the title, but I don't know that they're going to put it out this year. But it is astounding the amount of information they use. 9 tetrabytes.
Above a gig.
9 terabytes of information. They've taken Bing Maps and they've mapped the whole planet all the way down to the trees.
Really?
So you can literally fly around the world in the new Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Yes.
Holy hell.
It is the level of details mind-boggling.
So you're itching to get your hands on this then, right?
Yeah, I'm really excited to do that.
Do you have like the
but
whole thing
the control yoke,
controls,
the
or you just mouse and keyboard?
I used to, no, I won't. Not if this thing is what it's billed to be, and they've done a very good job with the development program, communicating with their potential customers about this is why it's taking so long. This is the steps we've taken so far, and they give weekly and monthly updates as to the progress of the game, and they'll put little like 6-minute splash videos with these engineers that are describing the process they've taken so far. It's phenomenal. But if it's truly what they're saying it's going to be, yes, I think it would be well worth the money to buy a $250. Yeah, oh my god, dude. It's just it's astounding. It's beautiful. They've worked out all the physics with rain and ice and waves. If you're taking off an ocean plane off of Puerto Rico and with pontoons off the water, they figured all that out. I mean, it's literally like do whatever you want to fly a 737 from Columbus to Venezuela. You could do that.
So let me ask another question about this. Maybe you don't know the answer. They're going pretty in depth with it. It sounds like and they've got weather and stuff.
Yeah. Which will be linked to real time.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask.
Yes.
So if you're flying over Montana and there's a snowstorm happening there in real world, it will be happening in the game?
You can click a button and it'll be real-time weather, lighting, everything. And at night...
And you could probably, I assume, just set it to be that also.
Yeah.
Because it's like a training tool, right?
It certainly will be used as that, for sure. At night, there's even cars on the freeway. Like it's the details. Just it's bonkers, dude. Very cool.
That's pretty dang cool.
No, it's way dang cool.
Thank you, Ralph.
So yeah,
that's way cooler than pretty dang.
It's that'll be really fun. Oh, and you can, if I'm not mistaken, we could fly in tandem. So you could fly
2 planes.
You could be at your house, and I could be at mine. And we could, share a flight path. We could fly in formation. That's kind of geeking out a little bit. But what I think is neat is there will be air traffic controllers. So there'll be somebody who's decided to play the role of air traffic at each airport. You'll have to check in with them on the radio and like get into the pattern. Wow. They can,
So you're telling me what I'm hearing is that at some point we can get enough people on there to fly in the formation that spells out ACES?
Totally. Absolutely, you could.
And then Brent can be the air traffic control and have us all crash.
All right, Drabby Schnarfus has entered the game.
All right, everybody's landing on strip 1 right now.
A little bit closer to home, I'm big into water conservation. So in my neighborhood, which isn't too far from the stadium, we've got a creek that comes through the neighbor's backyard, and
you go over there and steal water from it.
I've thought about it. Every spring we go clean all the strainers out, take all the trash and stuff out of it, walk
there are
up
a lot
the whole
of strangers hanging out in there.
Strainers. You know, when the
clean the strangers out.
Get out of that creek.
Hey, you little dirty bitch. So, you know, I think the name's Flo, Friends of the Lower Old Tangy Watershed.
Yeah, they do lots of good work around.
They do tons of good work. They remove invasive species. They're all about, you know, making sure that a plastic bag that's in our backyard here doesn't end up in Turkey Run, which is behind my house, which leads to the river, which then leads down to the Ohio River, which then leads down to the ocean.
If that plastic bag has to go anywhere, I don't want it in my yard. I'd rather it be in your yard.
Well, I don't want
it.
So
I wish they would stop that.
But. Yeah, just nullify the plastic bag.
Can we just put a catch basin in your yard where all the shit
Everybody bring your trash to my yard. I'll take care of it.
You know what's awful? It sounds like some days it feels like everybody's already bringing their trash to my yard.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is so much. Have you guys been? You probably don't spend a lot of time over here in Franklinton, but now that I live here, this is a dirty-ass neighborhood, yo. There is trash everywhere.
What, from all the construction sites?
No, just like human trash.
Yeah,
like,
that sucks.
It's not just construction debris. Like, every morning when I go to leave my house, there's shit in my yard. I don't know. Like, it's just like every morning it has replenished. And when I come home at the end of the day, there's new trash. I pick it up every time. Every time I go in and out, I'm picking trash up.
I have a corner lot in the street that I live on. It's kind of busy. It's a way to dip between Cook Road and Morse Road. So a lot of people use it as like a little cut through and goes zooming through there. But, you know, people just tend to throw beer bottles or whatever they want out of their window just right in the yard. So I got to go out there and clean up before I move.
Beer bottle in my yard yesterday.
Yeah, that sucks.
The alleys around here are still on the shared trash cans. The big, like...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how... You know, you could put like a small fucking car in these things.
Yeah.
And they're just... it's just...
How many bodies could you put in one of those?
You fit about 18 Brents in one.
It's a huge-ass trash can.
I only need to fit one Brent in a trash can.
Well, let me tell you what.
Okay.
Don't do it right now because trash...
hasn't been picked up
full.
yet? Okay.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, people dump in my neighborhood.
Oh, come on.
So, like, there are days where the trash is... Like, they come and pick it up, and by the sundown, it's already refilled again.
They just throw it in your trash can?
Yeah. And then like people use them for construction trash, which you're not allowed to do, and things like that.
Yeah.
And then of course because those things are so huge, and they come to dump them.
They can't pick it up.
Shit goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And so the alleys are it's a mess. Yeah. It's awful.
Well, it's an up and coming neighborhood though, right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I mean, in the mostly like seems like the wrong ways, but yeah.
Yeah, there's some difficulty, but you know things move pretty quick. Look at the Short North 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it looks nothing like it does today. Well, yeah, absolutely. I think it's past its zenith, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
But it sounds like individual cans would be a really good way to help improve this.
And supposedly that's something that they're going to be going to, because individual cans allow you to keep it up by your house, so it stops the dumping from people coming to the neighborhood from other places, and it also the smaller cans are easier to.
I wonder what the upside is for those big ones.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's probably cheap and easy.
I tell you,
the city does.
Okay, so
sometimes they block my. I don't use my. So I have my van. I have two vehicles now. My dad's van is mine now.
Yeah.
I park it out back, and I don't use it a lot. But there was a day I went to use it, and they had emptied the trash, and they'd put the thing back down in front of the van, and I couldn't get it out because it was full of trash now.
Oh no!
You know, because those things are like
they're huge,
thousands of pounds.
Yeah, they're
of
probably
trash,
good 4 or 5 feet wide. Yeah. So what's the apparatus that comes and picks that up?
It's a trash truck, just like
with the big claw arm.
Yeah. So it comes out, and it's not as little. It's like twice the size, right? And it comes out, and it's like literally got these two giant like bug pincer things around it, and then just like the littler ones, but on a bigger scale.
I was drinking beers one night with a guy at 4th Street, and he was an mutual acquaintance, and we got to talk, and he had just got off work, and it was early. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon. He worked for Republic Waste, so I started asking him about his job, just shooting the shit, and we got into the politics and the planning and the logistics of where they are currently have the landfill and where they already have dug out the hole and maneuvered themselves to put the next landfill, because our current landfill down there off of 71 is like very, very close to being full.
When did that one begin? Do you know?
What's that?
When did they begin that? you know?
I don't. But I'd imagine it's 30 or 40 years ago. I mean, a long time.
Yeah.
But them securing the land for the new one and getting into the water table and the capture of everything gas-wise or windborne trash, and the residents not freaking out about it. I mean, it was a big freaking deal. And they had cleared that hurdle. So I think they already have the new place picked out.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, it was cool because nobody thinks about it.
No.
The second it leaves your alley, you're like, whatever. But
well,
I mean,
it's like the water treatment facility too, like down there off 71 past Green
yeah, with all those
right?
like geodesic domes
on the left
on them.
side there, yeah, and you're just like, oh, I don't even think about that as being a thing.
I read something about Finland where they have residents right next to a pretty substantial landfill, and the people are capturing the methane and using it to heat their homes and stuff. It's like a straight up neutral thing. No, it's fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah, really cool. So stuff like that, man. You know,
crazy.
It's water conservation.
Water conservation, for sure. I mean, everybody should pay attention to that. We don't have so much of it.
How involved with Flow are you?
I'm not.
Really, just the neighborhood thing that you do?
Just a neighborhood thing.
But that's not a Flow project.
That's not a Flow project. Although it's adjunct. I mean, that creek is in the watershed.
In their wheelhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but the other cool thing that they do, and I think is really neat for any age, is the invasive species thing. There's so many things that, like the thickets and all the stuff that's in the woods around here, very little of it's from here. So 8,000 years ago, when Euro settlers hadn't been here yet, and it was only...
remember this, Darby?
No, Darby might have. When Darby was wandering
Darby
around.
was the lone man wandering the plains.
Everything was old-growth forest, so the canopy was so high, and the trees were so huge, but there was nothing under it. It would have been gorgeous. It was like a nice, flat floor... covered with leaves, and there wasn't all this like shit and like these Osage orange and like the rose thickets that were brought over here to make place for in place of fences and stuff, and all that stuff's garbage, and it's all the stuff you see on the side of the freeways that they cannot manage to get rid of because it's invasive. So Flow does a really good job. They'll have days where they'll pick a ravine and they'll have people out there teaching you what to look for and how to remove it, and then maybe even replanting local species and stuff like that to kind of stabilize the environment again. So they do a lot of really cool work. I'm wondering if we can partner with them. There's been a lot of crazy talk about people kayaking from wherever back or down to the new stadium with portages and stuff, and I think that would be fantastic. I mean, the idea behind them removing all those low-head dams, the ultimate goal is for somebody that lives in Delaware downtown to be able to kayak down to Columbus for their job and then take a truck, and haul the boats back up.
Are they all gone?
No, there's that one at Ackerman.
Okay, that one's still there,
and that thing still claims lives every couple of years. I mean,
it's a pretty hefty dam.
It's real deal.
The bridge for the bike path goes right over it, right?
Yeah. And sadly, I think it was not even. It was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. A pair of brothers died there. Yeah. Those things are super dangerous. But if you notice the one right off of 33 by the water tower, in that newly built section, kind of in between Grandview Avenue and the new stadium, there's one that they've replaced, and instead of it being just a curve, like a piece of quarter-round molding on the floor, it's stepped, so it doesn't create that tumble. Yeah. So if you went over that, you'd be fine. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So it's that turbulent part at the bottom.
Right, when you get pulled into the
and you can't
crack, and you can't
nothing
can
get out,
and you can't escape.
It'll throw a 10-foot wide oak tree around in there. Nothing can get out of it. So once they remove that one at Ackerman, or I think there's a little bit of discussion of not removing it but making a portage, it would be really fun. Like I
would love to do that.
I have a couple kayaks, and I would go put in up at Mount Air where 315 ends and bring it all the way down into campus on the old Tangi. It's a blast, dude. You see owls and cranes and all kinds of cool stuff. Did you know in the old Tangi there's a submarine that a guy built that's like when the river gets really, really low, you can see the top of it.
Well, apparently it wasn't a very good submarine because you had to abandon it.
No, yeah, it's flooded, but it was like a home built, and it was a pretty good sized sub, and it's right around Antrim Park Bend right there. There's a submarine, scuttled in the bottom of the river.
So GCG bag.
Wait, what?
You need to recover that, and that'll be your new party boat.
Similar or different to the crane that's in Antrim? You know what that is?
No, there's a crane in there?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe not.
In the pond?
In the lake, in Antrim Lake. I'd always been told, this was like a well-known thing in Clintonville.
Yeah.
That when they had dug Antrim, for some reason they didn't dig it so they get the crane back out, and so they left. Or whatever the thing is, the digger thing.
Yeah.
So they left
excavator.
Left it in there. Yeah.
Well, same thing with Runaway Bay, right there off 5th Avenue. It was like late 50s. They hit the water table, and they had like 2 hours to get everybody out. The whole thing flooded. There's still dump trucks down there, bulldozers, cranes, everything is like.
Oh, so this is probably the same thing then.
Yeah, they might have hit the water table and just whoosh, it fills up like a reverse bathtub kind of thing.
Right.
Speaking of weird things, the Pentagon was built so fast that they just buried all the construction equipment in the middle of it.
What?
Yeah, they were building it so quickly. I don't know if it was a Cold War reaction or whatever, but they had to get the building up like right now. So they built it so fast, and they just buried all the cranes.
Well, sure, because it's 5-side building. They had all the stuff in the middle, and they're like, "Oh shit, we just walled ourselves in."
Yeah,
I guess it has to stay now forever.
I went and this is years ago. I went to the Pentagon and took a tour, and the guy was really serious, crisp, uniform, and they're no bullshit. All right, so we do the tour, and it was really neat, and. That was the same trip I went into Newt Gingrich's office on Capitol Hill, and he had a
big fat dump in the corner.
He had 2 fucking kegs on the back porch on ice, and he had a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex skull in plexiglass in his office.
You'd think he's cooler than he is.
He's a fucking douchebag.
Sort of like political Willy Wonka.
Well, I was looking at him like, what is this? Like keg parties in here? Like this doesn't look like Anyway,
he gets hammered on the weekends and he steals things from the Smithsonian.
Yeah, no, pretty much. I think there was some controversy of where he got that
that skull?
That skull thing.
What do you think? Yeah.
To me, and one more thing, the mastodon at the Historical Society is not real. That is
the one up in near the stadium.
Yeah,
it's a casting, right?
It's a casting. The Emperor of Japan has the real one.
Why do we have a casting?
I think he asked for it, and somebody granted it to him. Sure, I'll replace it with phenolic, but it's not the real one.
Interesting.
All the ginkgo trees on the oval at Ohio State are a gift from Japan.
What's the deal here? What's the connection?
Nothing. I'm rambling. But
no, between Japan. I mean, not between all of the things you're talking about.
There's no connection.
What is the relationship between?
I'm not sure.
Japan, is it just coincidence of 2 different things?
Goodwill, maybe between the two. Ginkgo trees lose all their leaves on the same day, and it's one of the few species on the planet of tree that has a male and a female. So they have to pollinate each other. It's not like other trees.
Okay, that reminds me of a thing. I read the thing the other day that says that a big reason we're having trouble with pollination and stuff is because all we ever plant is like the male trees. Is that true?
For ginkgos?
No, for like all trees or something.
I think most trees are just one sex.
Interesting.
But ginkgos are, and the ones on the oval
about the article I read.
The ones on the oval are female, and so they make the fruit.
Okay.
And that the fruit smells like vomit.
It's a shit fruit, right?
Yes, this smells absolutely horrible. But anyway,
what a great gift.
Those aren't the trees that smell like cum, right?
Yeah. No. That's
what
not
are the
those
cum trees?
Oh, what are those?
Because they were when I lived on Town Street, they were planted all along the street.
It's disgusting. It'll take your breath away.
It smells like shit.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah. I don't like those a bit. I know what you're talking about.
They would drop their shit all over my car.
Yeah, they have like little white flowers on them. Yeah,
yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know the name of those, but I know what you're talking about.
The cum trees. Yeah. Right. Okay, so there's a lot of disgusting trees out there.
There's a lot of gross stuff. So Alex, if somebody wants to talk to you about being the next Indiana Jones,
or
the next
in general, or
Maverick from Top Gun, or if they want to talk about any random fact about Ohio or nature or anything.
Yeah, I mean,
how can they get a hold of you?
Know what the name of the cum trees are later, which I assume you'll look up.
Well, the deal is if I don't know the answer to it, I'd sure be happy to help you find out what the answer is. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are people. Not everybody has a flow in their neighborhood. That's kind of a nice Clintonville privilege. So they could come to you and talk about. I mean, there's a couple of watershed friends. But there are other parts of Columbus or the outer-lying areas that may not have those resources. So if somebody wanted to know more about water conservation, how could they get a hold of you? How could they
get a hold of me?
Yeah.
Probably Twitter, man.
What's your Twitter?
I think it's Uncle Alligator.
You think it's Uncle Alligator?
I don't know. Why?
Is it A.L.E.
No, I think that's just that header thing.
This is your name?
No, it's at Uncle with a capital U. Alligator with the capital A. All one word. No spaces, no underscores, no 69 triple A.
Alligator with one L, right?
Yep.
Yeah, which I don't think is the right number of L's.
Spelling, right?
Okay.
Was there another Uncle Alligator already?
There's another Alex Thomas crew fan.
Oh, do we need to have you guys fight?
There can be only one.
One, Alex Thomas, and hopefully one weather.
Fucking Thunder.
I don't know this other Alex Thomas. I don't particularly care about him, but
hit me up on there. I mean, I know a lot of this stuff's just scientific and dry, but
it's good. It's good to get out and do these good things, and like some of the stuff that we want to do this year is new and more engaging and physical presence. What if we did like a? Do we do like a cleanup?
Well, we used to do the Earth Day. We used to do the Earth Day thing.
Yeah, I know, but nobody ever came to that.
Well, not many people did.
It'd be like you, me, Morgan.
Yeah.
The Murderers Row Boys.
Yeah, well, and Donnie Murray is also very into environmental issues as well.
Yeah, but Donnie Murray's not that into environmental issues because he voted for Joe Biden.
He's into like advocacy. I don't know if he wants to get his hands dirty actually picking up trash.
Dirt picking.
It'd be awesome to have a partnership with Flo. I think it'd be great.
We do something like that, huh?
It'd be really cool. They'd love to help. I mean, I know that they have certain scheduled days, and they pick a large swath, and the more hands, the better, man. Bring a couple gloves and some shears and just get after it.
Maybe Joe Rogers could connect with them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How about I connect with them?
I was going to say, I think
how about instead
Alex do it?
I'll do it.
Let's do it, Alex. Let's make it happen.
I'll get a hold of him, and I'll see if we can organize
something. I'll come trudge through something.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. You're not. All right. Well, this has been scattered, but very interesting.
Yeah, I'll be back with some information. Maybe not next week, but certainly this spring or this summer, and let's try to do this. Let's try to do it this spring, because we don't want to be out there in the summer with the poison sumac and ticks and all that stuff.
That sounds good to me. What do you think? Should we try and target the area down by the new stadium, or
technically
is there somewhere else we could be more beneficial?
Well, that is the Olentangy. It's
right.
It's right
before the end. It's almost not the Olentangy.
Sure, I don't understand why they wouldn't consider that part of their thing. It's kind of where the campus rejuvenation project stops, and it's
let's
old
talk
industrial.
About it and see what makes
I'll
sense.
find out what
that could be fun.
It'd be really fun. It'd be really it'd be something different. So I'm all about it
for sure. Okay, well, while we have you here,
we got a game this weekend.
There is a game this weekend, and I know that you probably have some conflicted emotions about doing the weather report. You and Morgan have become very close over the years.
Intimate, one might say.
So much that you often outside of each other.
Hand in glove?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Hand in glove.
Hand in butt glove?
Hand in... Yeah. We'll just stop there.
Morgan used you like a puppet.
Anyways.
Well, depends on what day of the week it was.
If before you do the weather, you'd like to air any grievances
sentiments.
Or sentiments about Morgan,
a eulogy.
Just rest.
What do you miss most about?
You're ready to move on.
Just rest.
You don't even need it.
Okay.
You don't need it. You've done your grieving.
Yeah, I've already seen his hardwood. I don't need to know any more about it.
All right, well, fine. That's good.
I mean, he's liberal with it.
He is very liberal with it.
He's proud of it.
It's all over the internet.
It's shiny.
It is.
He's always complaining how much he has to touch. I'm like, well, stop. I can't help you.
I heard he sanded it down till it was raw, and then he recoated it.
Yeah. Well,
I can really use that drink now.
I don't think I've even heard that one before.
It's been used like once.
Okay. So what's where are we at this week, and what's the weather like? It's Seattle.
Seattle, Washington. Yeah. 10 o'clock or 10:30? 10.
10. 10.
10.
10. 7. 7 their time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're not to get whatever. Maybe we'll play in front of fans. Maybe
no, that's fine. Let's dive into that too. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, coronavirus is a kind of weather.
A lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like Washington is ground zero as far as America is concerned.
Yeah.
And they're canceling other events there.
Yeah,
bigger events than an MLS game.
Microsoft told 55,000 employees stay home.
Well, yeah, and
the school system shut down. The city advised don't gather in groups more than 10.
Did they cancel? Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy. They canceled Emerald City Comic Con. That's bigger than an MLS game.
It's real stuff, man. This isn't like I don't know. I'm going to offer no advice because I'm not a medical guy.
You're a weatherman.
Well, I just do the weather.
But what do you think? What as a fan of the league? What is your feelings towards the fact that they haven't said anything yet?
So I was having a conversation.
Even mentioned it.
Yeah. I think you want to be careful before you jump to a decision. And I understand there's money on the line.
Sure,
you're right. But maybe they should be getting their advice from somebody above them as
right. Well, we're less than 48 hours away from kickoff,
right. And so I kind of don't understand like the free will and nature of we'll just figure it out day before or day of, or you're still bringing people to that zip code, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if they can afford to stay home and not give them some notice, I had a conversation this morning, concerning the Arnold. And specifically the exhibits at the Arnold. And you got guys handing out pamphlets and stuff. And, hey, touch this or check out this weight bar or look at this set of here's an energy bar. It's just a lot of tactile, hand-touching stuff.
Ball gag.
Here's a ball gag. Here's a workout ball that I can
crotchless put lifting shorts.
Unzip this and insert that. But so you're touching, right?
Yeah.
Now, if
I'm always touching.
But if I went to a
oh wait, is this relevant to what we're talking about right this second?
Yes.
Breaking news.
Our team has changed their travel schedule. Jacob Myers also has a statement about our team changing their own travel schedule.
Read it into the microphone, Darby.
Where's the breaking news drop? This sucks.
The breaking news drop is not in the folder, actually.
Not set up
so that's not my
massive
fault.
report. This is as of 8 o'clock, which is
Blake
like 10
Compton
minutes
just came
ago.
in, our lovely host.
Blake Compton, ladies and gentlemen.
Breaking news with Blake Compton.
Breaking news. There we go. You're fired, Brent. We'll just have him yell it into the microphone from now on. So what's the gist here, Darby?
They'll continue to monitor.
That's it. So no actual news about a cancellation.
The crew were scheduled to travel to Seattle on Friday after practice. They'll now train in Columbus to close out the week before chartering into Seattle and return after the match Sunday evening.
So they're going straight in and straight back out.
Yeah. The Sounders are saying for now the game will go on as planned.
Okay.
All right.
That was good timing.
Yeah. Thanks Blake.
Yeah.
What a gentleman.
How was the meeting in there? Good.
Thanks.
That's great.
Blake,
is there anything you want us to mention tonight
this.
On the air? Any upcoming events here at Close Quarters Social Gaming Club?
Tekken Soul Calibur tournament.
Hey, there you go. Tekken Soul Calibur.
April.
It's in April, which is still a ways away. Hopefully.
Yeah, but the whole month is 420, dude.
Oh, shit, it is.
Oh, yeah.
If only we had like a smoke weed every day drop or something like that. April 5th, Tekken and Soul Calibur. So if you're into fighting games, you need to, if you're, is this a tournament or just like a tournament? It is a tournament. Do you have to pre-register? No, just show up.
It'll be out-of-town players from all over the state and tri-state area.
Out-of-town players from all over Ohio and surrounding regions.
That's awesome.
That'll be really cool.
Columbus or from wherever you're at.
It's an all-day thing, I assume, kind of? Yeah. All right, so there you go. Swing on by, check out some, or check it out or play if you're into fighting games. Cool. Thanks, Blake.
Cool.
Appreciate it. Okay, so a developing story.
Yeah. So here's my thought on it. If I were to go to a crew game and this was going on,
I mean, we did go to a crew game recently,
and my whole point was to not touch anything.
How do you?
Well, I mean, I pull my phone out and show my ticket, and then I go in there, and what do you? I mean, unless
stand on like the concourse.
Yeah, or walk down your seat. Like, you don't really have to touch anything. If you were hyper conscious about that, you're not really touching.
I mean, it takes. So you're talking not touching any handrails,
right?
Not taking any food or beverage products from any vendors.
Not using the restroom.
Right.
You literally just have to show up, sit in your seat, watch the game, and then stand up and leave.
If there are plenty of people that do that anyway.
Yeah, if your whole goal was to just really be conscious of it, yeah. I mean,
see, but then you got things like
and then somebody sneezes in your face, and it's all for nothing.
The stuff you can't control.
Yes,
right?
and that is a huge risk.
It's like why do I need insurance? I'm a good driver. Like, okay, well, you're not the only driver.
Right. That's true. Right. So
the Nordeck and the fan sections are what I would have been most concerned with. When you think about just how
what do you mean
tight
spread of stuff?
Yeah, just like how tight packed in people get in those places.
Or the tailgates. Everybody's high-fiving and bumping
into
each
other.
other.
They're yelling, they're high-fiving, they're hugging,
Yeah.
they're screaming, they're getting rowdy when a goal scored and beer that has been touching someone's mouth has now been thrown in the air.
And people are throwing up.
Right, yeah, or you're drunk and someone's throwing up. Like,
it's real concern.
Brent, I'm looking at you, Brent,
and
right now.
This is a shitty situation, man, and
I'm
it's
not sure why.
Made light of, and I don't know what the right decision is, but I'm not want to be alarmist, but
I just think it's
serious.
interesting that they haven't said any up until this right now. They haven't said anything about it. While things like the Arnold,
right,
which is in a relatively safe and virus-free state,
right,
are being canceled.
Well, why invite trouble?
But except now they're walking it back for the Arnold.
No, they're not.
And that also wasn't the Arnold's decision. That was the state mandating that the Arnold not allow spectators.
Yeah. But
so it's not their choice.
Not allowing spectators for the events. They're not holding the expo hall.
Right.
They're not doing the expo still.
Most of this
competition.
Most of this was they tried to do this, and the state told them hey, cut back the amount of people that are going to be here.
Well, that's fine. my point is it's irrelevant who's making the decision to cancel it. Just that it is being canceled, right? And it is an event that is much larger than all the MLS games this weekend combined, attendance-wise.
And it's bringing people in from 80 countries around the world. So your exposure...
Right, but at the same time, if you really wanted to, you could trump it up and say, sorry, nobody from...
Isn't the fact that it's bigger a reason to cancel it?
They sent
smaller event.
They sent back like a dozen people from China.
Okay.
So,
but what I was saying was if you could do that and then still have the event.
Right.
Right, there's a middle ground.
Yes, there's a combination of the two.
But they are going as extreme as you can, basically.
And the argument made to
outside
counter
of
that...
fully canceling the entire thing.
Right. The argument made to counter that was, well, how can you have other sporting events then? And the government's or city apparatus's response to that was, well, at the Cavs game, I think is what they were specifically talking about. They said, if we have somebody sitting in seat 27 that tests positive next week, we can get a hold of seat 26 and 28 and 29 and 25 and test them. There's at least some semblance of tracking to figure out.
But if you have late, right?
Well, you still have something.
If 27, if you give it to me tonight, and then they find out on Monday that you have it,
then they get a hold of you.
But it's already been 4 days of me doing God knows what.
But it's better than mixing up 250,000 people and just casting them to the wind.
But here's the problem: the state of Ohio has only gotten one testing kit.
Well, that's a whole.
They say, we'll just test the people next to you. Ohio doesn't have any fucking way to test them.
Pence, what was it? Pence was like, we've got 2,500 testing kits. Like that was a lot of them. Or something.
Right?
What's that divided by
50? Like 500 a state.
No. 2,500. 2,500.
Okay. So
50 a state.
50, if that.
There's 88 counties in Ohio. I mean, like, get a fucking grip, dude. Like, you'd be better off not saying shit than laying that on the table. Anyway, we're getting way off topic.
Right.
Okay, Seattle.
Yeah. What's the weather like?
Oh, yeah.
If a soccer game is going to happen,
it's going to happen
in front of fans or not.
Okay.
What will the weather be like for the 11 coronavirus-free lads on the pitch?
Thanks for asking, John. I thought you never would.
I think a lot of people are probably thinking that same thing right now.
Sorry, guys. Saturday night. Well,
so Darby, what do you? We're rain, like 60 minutes or something like that. 65.
30% chance of rain. Winds out of the south-southwest at 10 miles an
30?
hour.
13.
Oh, 13. Okay. It's going to be 46 degrees. So it's going to be chilly and rainy.
So it's going to rain.
30% chance of rain. 46 degrees and 10 mile an hour wind, which I don't think.
Nice,
I don't think in that stadium.
Not unlike our opener.
Given the height of that stadium, I think the wind's kind of a non-factor there.
Yeah, I would guess so.
Some stadiums like ours is a factor, especially in this last game. There was a huge difference when the team was going north to south or south to north.
Well, one of the players even made mention of that.
Yeah, it was a strategic advantage.
So.
It pisses me off so much that we always go towards the Nordic in the first half.
Right.
I hate that.
I don't know what the decision behind that is.
I think it's the other team's coin flip that makes it. But it pisses me off. I would rather be attacking our end in the second.
Where did Seattle play their first game?
Cincy? Or I might be wrong.
Was it Cincy? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Hey, Brent, you've got a computer.
Brent, you have the website even open, or you did. Anyways, it'll be interesting.
Yeah, they scored a late goal.
They won, right?
Jordan Morris. Yeah, scored 2, and one of them was in extra time.
Yeah.
So
it should be good. Defending champs.
Yes, and they've won. If you go across their competitions MLS-wise, they've won their last 5. Now, I know that stretches into last season. They just bowed out of the CONCACAF, which they're pissed off about.
We won't get into that.
No, this sounds a lot like Segment 3 type stuff.
What's that, Darp?
So this sounds a lot like Segment 3 type stuff?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. Seattle was in Chicago.
Okay, there you go. There's the weather. So if you're traveling to Seattle, you've got it now. You know what's up.
It's going to be chilly. Wear a coat.
Pack your coat. Pack your umbrella.
And
pack
wear gloves. Wear gloves.
Mask.
Wear gloves.
Pack your alcohol-based.
Pack your bong.
Yeah. Smoke weed every day. All right. Thanks for joining us and talking about things that you love, Alex.
I'll be back next time.
Okay.
Is it on your phone?
Well, yes, but that's the only thing I have to do it on.
Okay, so you're on your phone.
Darby, I'm going to kill you. All right, welcome back to segment 3. Alex is still with us.
Oh yeah,
you love to see it.
How's that feel?
It feels good, man. How do you guys feel?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Me too.
I mean, I'm a little worked up and heated based on the conversation we had during the break, but that's okay.
Yeah, me too.
Won't let it get to me too much here. Okay, so we are ready to do week 2 of the new format of the hot takes, which has some stipulations that I will outline, but also some new things that we realized we needed to make clear, or Darby noticed this and realized we needed to make clear. So let me break it down for you guys real quick again. This year, we're only reading the top 3 and then the last one. So your voting matters more than ever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you didn't listen to the show, you don't know this.
Does the last place one get downvoted then?
Let me get to it.
You're jumping ahead here, Alex.
Tell me more.
I know you're excited.
Let me tell you more here.
I can tell by looking at you from the waist down that you're very excited. I got it.
It's like one of those door stoppers.
Brian, can you get down here and flick this? Okay, so first place, the top vote getter now, automatic 2 points. Automatic. Second place, also automatic, but 1 point. Third place, we appreciate you not getting anything for free, but you're going to get red, and maybe we'll allocate a point to you from our own
some street cred,
our own pool of points here. Last place, sorry, that was me. I kicked you. Last place, the worst person in the entire thread, automatically loses a point, but they are also up to be receive points from us. So what? Last week, AGS TAC, last place, -1.
Yeah,
but then
super downvoted.
2 points from one from Darby.
Yeah,
and one from me.
Oh wow, okay.
So he's actually only at 1.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more dynamic.
That's pretty good.
So the thing that Darby brought to my attention earlier today was we need a tie-breaking mechanic, which I assume you realize because someone is tied.
It looks like right now they were at the time, and so it occurred to me.
So what we've decided is, in the spirit of us hating the fucking long one,
some of us do.
I'll just let that sit there for a minute. We have decided that the tie-breaking mechanic will be length of take. So,
nice.
If you guys, if you and Darby, Alex, both had the same amount of points, but yours was considerably shorter, then you would take first place.
Yeah,
and I would fuck right off.
Darby would go down to fucking second.
Well, yeah, I mean, make more with less. We all love that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a hot take, not a damn novel.
We're trying to cut the hot takes time, okay?
Yeah.
So we're not going to...
I think that's a great idea.
You should be punished if you're long. Okay?
Well, 3 of us would be dead right now.
We would. Bront would be doing the show alone.
With 1,000 points.
Okay, anyways, with that all out of the way here, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start again at the top and work our way down. So, Bront, please, when at your leisure, but maybe not because you're kind of slow, go ahead with the first one.
Yeah, make sure you get them sorted and all that shit.
Yeah, don't read the wrong ones or we'll literally never let you forget it.
You never let me forget anything. Even the things that I do right, you still manage to make fun of somehow. So
well, we can talk about this later.
All right. First up from user My68. In my youth, I can remember being subjected to AM radio and therefore conservative talk radio as I rode in the car with my dad. I recall a certain host speaking to his producer, but never being able to hear a response from said producer. It made for really bad radio. Thanks for all the bad memories when speaking with Brent last week, and congratulations on being the Rush Limbaugh show of this cool podcast. Alex Thomas, your thoughts?
Well, I don't like that part of the end killed it.
What a true fucking roasting for all of us.
Yeah, it's pretty good though. Actually, I like that.
I mean, there are worse ways to go. Cancer or Covfefe 19 or whatever it's called. All right. I like that. Second place.
Next up.
So wait, did we end up with a tie or no?
No, there was no tie.
Okay. Wait, are you sure? Like, what I'm looking at, I see 2 with 8 points.
Okay, maybe there's a tie for second.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, so which
Actually, I have 8 votes, and then I have 7 votes. So I do not have 2 with 8 votes.
When is your thing page refreshed from, though? Did you refresh it recently?
Yeah. I did not.
Pull it down right now.
Pull it down now.
Pull down.
Well, please specify.
Pull down.
Brent, pull down.
Pull down, Brent.
Brent.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Refreshing.
Now I have 9 and 8.
It's refreshing right now.
Are you voting on things right now, Alex? And trying to screw with them? Uncle Sportman, you son of a bitch.
Now I have 8 and 6.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Did they change what position they were in?
No, they're in the same.
Then just read them the way they are.
Okay. So from user You Missed Cbus, if you love the dead air and paper shuffling on all sides with Ann Fisher, then you want to smash the subscribe button on this podcast.
Damn it.
John's done with thoughts. That's it.
I love that.
You piece of shit.
That's so good.
Coming up next on the Tech Hour, Alex Thomas. There's no one I hate in radio more, so it's an honor to be compared to her.
So we got so far Ann Fisher and Rush Limbaugh.
We're racking it
doing,
up here.
Doing real well.
It's like an MLS All-Star lineup.
All right, third place, Ghost of Morgan Hughes. Oh yeah, baby! Ignorant sluts, shitlords, and celebrity fans alike. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, it's already too late. Did you see the little hot baby Lucas Celery in pool out his weenus and send a smasher into the side netting to put Columbus Crew up at the top of the standings? My score prediction for this week, Seattle Sounders 0, Columbus Crew 2, and the coronavirus 39. Hashtag boo, hashtag sluts, hashtag butts, hashtag little hot baby smasher. Darby Snarfus.
I like Lucas Celery N as the name. That's a good mnemonic device.
Better than Morgan.
It's a shame that you butchered the shit out of it. I mean,
it really is.
You did a great impression of Morgan, not only in terms of your cadence, but also in fucking up the hot take. So well done on that.
Thank you.
Wait, is
Appreciate
that not how it's written?
Well, he said celery and pull, and then there was a long pause. Yeah. Pull is not associated with celery.
Really merged those two words there.
Okay, great job.
Yeah. Pull out his weenus was what that was supposed to be.
So what is this like? This
Instead,
is like
he was like, pull
four of the
out his weenus.
The first 6 hot takes of this season have been Morgan related.
I mean, are you shocked by this? If you scroll through, a lot of the ones that didn't make the cut are also, I mean, there's basketball emoji who references Morgan.
I feel like we should. Okay.
There's free to penis, which mentions Morgan.
Free the penis or free to penis?
There's Merrigan, which is probably actually
you
Morgan.
are free to penis or freeing 2 penises.
Right. What is it, Darby?
What?
Free to peen? What is it?
Free da penis.
Oh, free to penis.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. All right.
And poor darling thief down there. Well, actually, was
all right. Who's last, Bront?
All right. Still scrolling.
All right. Got that many.
Last place,
17.
Oh wow. Whoa.
Last place was Darling Thief.
Oh, what a good.
I think there was maybe some strategy here because this was a late edition. This was only posted an hour ago.
Right.
So it instantly went to the bottom of the standings.
Oh, because it's got no vote but her own?
Right.
Probably?
Right. Actually, not even her own. It's 0.
Oh, she just downvoted herself.
Yeah.
All right. Yo, Bezlords. I recently got an email from a headhunter. Hi, sir, madam. Are you looking for a fresh opportunity? Would you like to swap a cubicle for an outdoor work environment? Do you want to be hated like you are a middle manager? Do you want to travel to sexy locales with second downtowns surrounded by 20-somethings? Join the Professional Referee Organization, a.k.a. Pro. We are hiring for entry-level positions. No prior experience is required. We will give you the on-job training you need to be a line judge. You'll train in markets like Columbus, Salt Lake City, and San Jose. Prior experience as a sign flipper on the street is a plus. Join us today. All inquiries should be directed to pro@aol.com. John Zadar, your thoughts?
It was pretty funny, and I respect the strategy. You must be right.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, it actually referenced soccer.
It did. Yes.
Which is unprecedented.
And it didn't reference Morgan. Rest.
Yeah.
So
Rest.
It's got a lot going for it.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it was good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Started out.
I didn't know where it was going.
I didn't know where it was going either. It was like trading your cubicle for a hot time in the boy field.
Yeah, hot time flipping.
What? Okay. All right, great. Well, let's start with Darby. Who's
All
your
right.
point? With 1.2 award
from amongst those.
Amongst those 4.
Shit. I'll go with Darling Thief, yeah. Because also, fuck all of you who are making fun of our technical difficulties. Fuck all y'all. It's funny, but fuck all y'all.
Okay. Alex?
I get 1 point?
You get 1 point.
Okay. And it has to be from these 4?
Yes.
These 4.
So I can't give one to AGS Attack?
You cannot.
No.
Okay. You sure?
I'm sure.
Yes.
All right.
Why are you so desperate to get... Here you go. If you can make the case right now.
Oh, I can't.
Okay, then.
I can make the case to support AGS attack. Said no one ever.
His hot take was actually pretty good this week.
We'll never know.
I'm going to do all sides with Ann Fisher one, just because it pisses you off so much. I like that.
Piece of shit. Bront, who's your one blood point going
to? I'm going to go with Darling Thief.
Okay.
Nice.
Look at that.
All right.
There seems to be a pattern developing.
Right.
There.
So she has a net gain of 1 point then.
Yeah.
This is going to make the field much more competitive.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Everybody's running
interaction
away.
on the hot take thread.
Yeah. Jesus Christ,
God,
Alex.
Damn it, John.
Oh my God.
Alex
That
trying to
wasn't
break
me.
our
Of
technology.
everyone who's here, it was you.
But you
loved
have
most.
cat-like reflexes, though. I like that.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, shit, guys.
All right, I'm giving my blood point to Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, no.
Shouldn't you give it to the person with the hot take?
Yeah, well, yeah,
instead?
I don't know what his name was. What was its name?
That was my 6'8".
My 6'8". Did you get my blood point?
All right.
All right. That was the blood point.
I know. I have the hot takes thread open, so I can't play the drum.
I know. We don't have the music because we don't have... Brent didn't do his job.
Also,
I'm not the one who said I would provide the iPad.
I forgot.
Do you have the standings?
I was going to review the standings.
I was going to wait and read the standings till next week, but
okay.
if you want to do it, go right ahead.
No, it's okay. It'd be dead air because I have to open it up.
Okay, we'll start with the reason that everybody listens next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How's that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Then we got a few it's more than 3 point getters now, so it's good. Okay. All right, well, we'll move on to our game preview, which we kind of started to touch on in the weather segment a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit
there. But they face Seattle, 10 p.m. Temps in the mid-40s, was it?
Yeah, 46.
Chance of rain at 30%.
Yep.
Chance of coronavirus at
too much percent.
More than 30%.
Yeah, more than we want percent.
And then the breaking news of the change in travel plans. So we'll see. They're still.
I didn't hear that part. Are they just flying in and getting out?
Instead of flying in tomorrow like they'd planned, they were going to arrive Saturday morning, I presume.
So they may even charter flights.
Yeah, they're going to use the charter.
So 1 of 5, right?
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was something that. But is this going to count?
Yeah.
And should it?
Well, yeah.
Should this count towards our 5 charter flights? Is it our fault that we're playing in Seattle when the thing has happened? When this thing has happened?
I'm wondering if that wouldn't have been their choice anyway, seeing as how this is like our one of two West Coast trip. Yeah, because we don't play any of the California teams this year.
Do we know if they were planning to charter before and they just adjusted the schedule, or did they adjust?
No, I think they weren't chartering and now they are.
Okay, so they're going from coach on Friday to charter on Saturday.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
at least they had that card to pull. I mean, that's a good move by the league to provide that for them anyway, and that was part of the players' agreement, right?
Yeah, right. It was 5. Each team gets 5 charters now a season. Okay, so that makes a pretty big difference as far as player fitness and form and
and they're leaving right after, so they're not staying in hotels out there.
Is that what you said? They're leaving after the game.
They're leaving after the game. Yeah.
Interesting.
So literally their play back.
Yep.
Which makes sense. I mean,
why not?
I'd be curious to know what the players' feelings are towards this whole thing.
There's no way you'll ever hear. I bet the league's got them clamped down.
I wonder if there's a lot of like talk in the locker room of like,
group decision.
Can we spend as little time there as possible?
Sure. Right. If you think about it, like a hotel is going to be a prime point to catch a fucking disease.
Yeah.
Because they don't wash shit nearly enough, and people are in and out all the time. So that's the one thing. I mean, charter flight is the
minimal interaction while still making the trip as you can get, I imagine, right? Like charter lands, get on the bus to stadium, practice.
They have to have practice.
Practice and warm up on the field, locker room, play, locker room, back on bus, back to charter.
The mentality will be different for this game.
They won't,
for sure.
The only place they will be in Seattle is the airport and the stadium.
Yeah.
Right?
This will be interesting.
Assumedly. Interesting. Okay. What are you thinking as far as like lineup and stuff with this derby? Are you thinking we're going to see Diaz re-enter as the winger?
I don't think Mokhtar played well enough to establish himself as the dominant starter opposite Pedro. He was adequate, but I would still, if Diaz is 100%, I would like to see him first. Mostly because of that speed factor that he can change the game in ways that Mokhtar can't necessarily. So if he is fully fit, I think he's your first choice, and maybe he's only a 60-minute guy in that context, and that's fine. But he's a guy went out and got and spent money on, and so I think he should be the guy. I have concerns now whether Vito will be playing if he was in street clothes pretty recently, but we're deep at center back.
That brings up another good question of who do you see as the number 3 center back?
And that is a good question.
Alex, feel free to jump into it.
Keita?
I mean, they've got we've got Keita and Williams.
And Axel Soberg.
He hasn't really been with the team, though.
Sure.
I'd say Williams, only because it's going to be plug and play, and like he's familiar with some of these guys on this team. Jordan Morris is going to be a handful.
Yeah, veteran presence can be big on a long road trip.
More fleet of foot.
But he's an older guy, and will be on turf.
Yeah,
so that's something to consider too. And at what point do we need to start trusting the younger guy? I mean, how many more years is Williams going to be here? 2. So,
yeah.
Who knows? Okay, interesting. What are you guys expecting to see from the team as far as an approach to the match, tactics wise, lineup wise? Do you think that there's any chance that we see a 2-striker formation, not necessarily even in this game, but this season with Adi now on the roster? I was surprised that they made that switch last game.
I didn't realize how humongous of a person that dude is. Big
dude. Yeah.
Now he's JJ Williams might even be a little bit tinier, but he looks like he's more comfortable moving than JJ Williams was. JJ Williams seemed kind of like
awkward,
lumbering.
Yeah, more like I wouldn't even say like a linebacker or a tight end in football because he's not fast.
JJ Williams, yeah.
Schoenfeld was tall, but he was fast. But 2 forwards, I don't think so. Not with.
I think we will. I think. This team doesn't make any sense having 4 forwards on the roster if you're not using 2 with some regularity. I mean, that's like having 4 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
I mean, we do. But okay, maybe not the best example. Fuck you, John. No, like realistically, even if we go with the idea that maybe Jossie isn't playing 90 minutes all the time, which I think having this depth would be a good thing in that context, is he can get subbed out more often. 4 is just way too deep for a team to only regularly play 1 forward. It's a lot of roster spots. It's a lot of salary cap money because it tends to be a more expensive, even with 90% of Adi's salary being paid by somebody else. That's still just a lot of money tied up in a position. So yeah, I definitely think we'll see, especially if we get down a goal, maybe, and it's
Have we seen Porter's system yet? I mean, you could throw last game out. That's not going to be representative of anything.
Next point, right? Is we haven't really played a game yet.
Right.
That first game was so unique in that we, are not going to be spending 90 minutes against the team down a man.
We're not going to have 37 crosses or whatever.
Right.
I don't see that as being his plan.
Okay, so you don't think that's the case? You brought guys in like Nagby and Zellerine. You think that his intention is more to play a bit more direct?
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, don't you?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to draw anything from this last game.
That game in the last few years, that's not what we've done.
That was Berhalter ball out there,
and he's now got his guys.
Yeah.
So
I think from what he said, he wants to play more counterattack, more direct. And that's normally two forwards would be really sweet with that, though. If you could splay it out,
Yeah, I think so. And I think he's got Nagby to be the defensive midfielder. I mean, whether it's a diamond or a flat 4-4-2, I think he'd be totally comfortable with Lucas and Nagby being the guys and having 2 forwards if you just need that extra something.
Yeah. Well, which 2 guys would complement each other the best? Is Zardes Adi too slow, too... not nimble enough.
They're like both kind of targety guys, right?
Yeah.
At least that's how I see it.
Yeah.
So usually you want like a bigger guy to a smaller, faster dude can kind of play off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And then now you get situations where you say, okay, is this a type of thing where we play? Maybe we try Diaz up top with Zardes. Like I don't know.
Sure.
Why not? Right? Like because he's playing is a pretty advanced forward playing role, even when he's out on the wing, and he's obviously got the skills to dribble and shoot.
Yeah, he's comfortable getting in there.
So
yeah, I mean you've got speed elsewhere on the field. You've got two wingers in Diaz and Etienne who are fast. You've got your fullbacks that are fast. So if you want some pace, it's there. I would imagine if it's a two forward front, it's just, one guy's kind of sitting a little behind the other. I don't think that it's a speed thing. It's, you can kind of lump it long, and one of those guys is going to come up with it and be dangerous.
Okay. Well, with that all said, let's move on to the score predictions. Let me break down the standings after our first week of predictions. They don't look good for you, Brent.
Does Seattle have any injuries, real quick?
Not that
anything
I'm aware
notable.
of. Oh, I saw someone today on Twitter saying that someone wasn't going to be playing.
Like an impactful player?
Guy.
Really?
I can't remember who it was.
Jordan Morris had 2 goals in the last game, incidentally.
In a short, he came on in the 60th,
too. But he was subbed in.
Yeah,
he had to come in and kind of save them. So,
well, the money line on our game is heavily in favor of Seattle. So the bettors think we're going to lose this one.
They're at home.
Yeah,
it's a non-natural surface. They're defending champs.
Yeah, there's a lot going their way.
Still a good team. I don't think they've really made a lot of roster changes.
Dude, I'll tell you, if we go in there and come out with 3 points, people are going to start talking.
I think that's a much bigger and genuine sign than winning this week against New York, which is also a good team.
Yeah, it was a great result. These are these points that we leave that we're kicking ourselves come fall.
Yeah, I know that the tendency and the belief in MLS is win at home and tie on the road, but I really think that if you really take more of an aggressive mentality and go for those 3 points on the road, maybe not necessarily in games like this where it's a really difficult opponent and difficult circumstances, but those easier games, like
put your foot on their throat.
Yeah, there is no reason not to crush those lower teams.
Go in it with the attitude you had going down to Cincy.
Right. Yeah.
Go kill them every time. Get after it.
Yeah.
What's to be gained by if we can come out of there with a tie?
Well, it's like people compare or blame the parity of MLS to that kind of a mentality, I think, and the playing down to your.
Well, if you listen to coaches, they'll tell you, we play every game to win.
Well, sure. Right.
Unless they're Open Cup games.
Well, it's like people get
and then
excited
you just lay your dick on the railroad track.
Porter's like, I'm here to win trophies. Like, I would certainly fucking hope so.
Yeah, that's why we hired you.
Yeah,
right.
I'm concerned about the coach who says the opposite.
Well, right.
But no one's ever going to do that. So, have you looked up injuries, Derby?
I'm trying to find. There's nothing. On the game preview, but the MLS injury report page has Will Bruin out, Ladero out, and Gustav Svensson out.
I think Ladero was the person I saw that wasn't going to be able to play. So.
Yeah. So let me look at the crew. Has Waylon Francis and Matt Lampson out.
Okay, so Vito's not even on there.
Who knows how well this is updated?
But again,
they have deadlines. They have deadlines though. Like it's a league mandated thing. You have to submit your injury report.
Alex,
yeah, and I thought it was
the league website. It says updated March 2nd, and at the top of the page it says February 29th. So clearly they don't have their shit together.
Dan, what's his name?
Cormanch.
Yeah. Can we get a clarification,
State, my friend?
Yeah, come on.
So, well, I mean, maybe they won't take the risk with Vito. Then isn't he kind of an older guy, a bigger dude on fake grass, with travel, and maybe even in rain, like.
Yeah, why do it?
Maybe not worth the risk.
It wouldn't shock me if the team sort of did that play for a draw thing in this context, given the crazy travel and all that stuff. Sure.
I hate how that surface plays when it's all wet.
Yeah,
it's like a greased skillet. I hate it.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, let's go through the endings real fast. Last week, Crew win at home against New York City 1-0, courtesy of Lucas Zelleryan. Predictions were as follows. In last place, it was the Patreon people who don't exist.
Right.
So they did not place a prediction yet. And so they are at 0. Then we had the host filling in that week, Gemini. Her prediction was 1-1 draw. Incorrect. Imagine not believing in the Crew.
I know.
For the home opener.
Imagine not believing in the Crew.
Imagine 2 Massive Report writers who predicted a loss.
Oh, my gosh.
You'd hate to see
You'd
it.
hate to see that.
You would.
You'd hate to hear their
Dave Hageman and Thomas Costello.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Pieces of shit.
You leave Dave alone. He's cool.
Bront sent them a sternly
He hates
letter.
the team, though.
I will do
First
that
of
job.
all, Dave has applied for like every position.
I know.
Literally.
I love it.
To the point that they probably have his email account blocked.
They have it blocked. Yeah. Okay. All right. And in second to last place,
But also last
But
place.
also very much last place because... Are you done?
Nope.
Do you have a little thing in your throat?
Nope.
Do you have a big thing in your throat?
No, because it's in his pants. We have Bront coming in here with a 2-2 prediction. 0 points.
So. Imagine hating the crew and being the producer of a crew podcast.
Yeah, rest, Brent, rest. Tied for first place. Because you know what? We're equals.
We are.
And I respect you as a friend.
Yeah.
And a lover. Darby and I both predicted 2-1. And while we were not correct, we did get the result
so close.
Correct.
Yes, you guys were really.
It was a 1-goal victory.
You know what? I really appreciate you saying that.
You guys were close.
I felt like we were very close. Yeah,
you guys were close.
And so we both take home 5 points, and we share the lead.
As friends do.
Yeah. As friends do.
Right.
Okay. We got the drops out for this. Okay, so
those aren't drops. That's just.
That's Brett. Can you please?
Stop shitting
that
yourself.
microphone's not ours. You're going to need to wipe that down, or you're going to give the Street Fighters coronavirus. Okay, so for this week, predictions on the road in Seattle, possibly rain, possibly virus, possibly who knows, Darby?
Possibly anything. Yeah.
What are your final thoughts, and then we'll score prediction. Also.
Yeah, my final, again, I don't know that you can draw any conclusions about this game. It's going to be so weird with the compressed travel. There's no acclimation there. They're going to be traveling beforehand, traveling after. It's nice that they don't at least have to go through airports and deal with any sort of layovers and shit. But I think it's going to be a weird game for the guys. I actually think they'll sort of be coached to just manage the game. If we can steal a point, great. But this might be we have 39% possession kind of thing. I'll say the crew managed to escape with a 1-1 tie.
Okay.
And consider that, frankly, a victory in that context.
And that's under normal circumstances. I just thought of something else, and we're going to do this just in case. Now, we all know what a big difference the lads make and how important winning the stands are.
Mm-hmm.
Should, in the unlikely event, should the lads not be upped, should the stands be empty, does that change your score prediction?
No, I don't think so. Because there are a couple of mile-high massive people who are going from Colorado to Seattle who will be equally as loud as the Seattle Sounders fans. So it'll be a wash in a full stadium.
Balanced
either way.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, that's fair. Alex?
Yeah, and props to Mile High Massive for making that.
That's
that
impressive.
voyage.
What's the travel there? It's not a drive, I assume. It's a fly.
It's it's more than I'm going, so props to them.
I'm just curious. Yeah. All right. Okay, Alex, final thoughts and 2 score predictions if you'd like.
2?
Well,
with empty or full stadium
and without.
Oh, I got you.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be weird. These guys are so used to the routine and having things set up in an exact way. The guy that's probably pulling his hair out the most would be the. Do we still have Steve Tashin? Or did he go with Greg?
No, he left.
Well, I know the strength and conditioning guys and the guys that like to have the machine that are these guys' bodies worked out. This is going to be difficult. Being at altitude, those planes are cabin pressures 10, 12,000 feet. It's going to be all kinds of weird physiological stuff going on. Them keeping hydrated and stuff. So it'll be strange. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a little tired legs.
What's the flight time on a direct charter, you think, from Columbus, Seattle?
Probably 4.
4 hours?
Yeah, 4.5. And we're on short rest. I know that's stupid, but we played Sunday. Did Seattle play Saturday?
I think they did. Yeah.
So we got a couple. We have a couple factors here that have compressed things a little bit for us. So it's going to be a little strange. I would say with lads, 2-1 crew.
Okay.
Oh no, they played Sunday also. Actually, so equal footing there.
That's good.
And they traveled, so they were.
Yeah, they were away.
So no, I'm sorry. No, they were home. I lied.
Oh, they were?
Yeah, they were.
This is their home opener.
No, I guess not.
2-1 Seattle, Chicago.
I had just assumed that they wouldn't give them home back to backs.
I thought this was their home opener,
but I guess not.
Anyway,
all right,
2-1 with lads crew.
Okay, Century Link Field.
No lads, 2-0.
2-0.
Yep.
Crew. So
wow.
You're calling a victory both ways.
Yep.
But more dominant.
I think we're going to go out there and take care of business, man.
Without the
I really do.
Okay. Bront, thoughts and 2 score predictions.
So you guys, real quick, you guys are going to randomize this, right? So somebody's not always going last. Is that what you guys were talking about last
Why don't
night?
you go next, John, just to mix things up?
Yeah, but this isn't the same order we did last week.
Well,
we didn't start with him last time.
Yeah, but you were last. We did not start with me because I changed
idea.
my score based on what he said, so I wasn't copying.
Here was my idea. Get a fidget spinner and just spin it, and then
spin the bottle.
Start and just have it labeled 1, 2, 3, and then however the thing lands, it goes.
What if we get the Schwazi app on our phones and we all put our fingers on it?
I would ask you to
spread it around, Kofi.
Yeah.
That reminded me of something, but I won't bring it up right now. Okay, I'll go there. That's fine. That's fair. I liked my score prediction from week 1, and I think it's still valid. I think this is a team that's good, but I don't know how they'll handle the weird situation.
Yeah.
It's just so odd. So I think that 2-1 sounds reasonable to me, and so I'm going to say that again. Until I'm proven wrong, I believe in this team. I think that it's a good roster. I said over the weekend, I think this would be a good roster that would get good results without a coach. Let alone.
Can we try that?
Sorry, I'm open to it. Okay. There was a whole discussion at Endeavor late Christmas Eve about it. So I'm going to go 2-1, and then with the lads or without. I think it's going to be 2-1 either way because I don't think the lads make a difference.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Do the score predictions? I mean, are we going to accept the different results depending upon whether there are people in the stands or not?
Your full stand score prediction is what happens if the stands are full.
Okay.
If the stands are empty, then your empty stand score prediction is what.
I mean, it doesn't matter for me, but yeah.
Yeah, it won't matter for me either.
Matters for me.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And now, Bront, does it matter for you? Do the lads matter?
I don't think that it actually has an effect on the game, but I'm going to make 2 score predictions anyway. So.
Oh, you're hedging your bets.
Yep, exactly.
Coward. You know only one of them will be valid.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand.
Cool. Okay. So you're hedging your bets in the worst possible way.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to work out, Travis. Trust me.
It, but it's fine.
If the stands are full, I will say 2-2 crew.
2-2 crew with full stands.
2-2 crew.
How can that?
Oh, the crew are going to win a 2-2 tie? Good job, Brent. Thanks for fucking showing up.
Okay, Bront's an idiot.
Who scores the game-winning goal in a 2-2 tie, Brent?
If the stands are empty, it's a 0-0 Seattle win.
If the stands are empty, I'm saying 2-1 crew.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That sounds good to me. I'm just recording it here. Sorry. Okay. Well, that's it. That sounds good. So wait, this is a pretty optimistic panel here, right?
Yeah.
Only Darby didn't predict a win because I don't know why he hates the crew, I guess. So
he predicted a tie in a certain context.
That's, okay, you're right.
So
okay.
I still think the crew win that tie.
And the thing is,
you did say. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and it's like this is not a knock on the team; it's a knock on the situation. I think.
So you think that the situation of the change in flight plan and all that is going to have enough of an effect that they can't get a win?
Well, when you say it like that, I sound like an asshole, don't I? I think there's enough of a factor there that they could come in with heavier legs than they would otherwise.
Physiologically, they're playing at 10 o'clock at night.
Right, for them, yeah.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Yeah. Okay, well, that wraps up the predictions, and so this is kind of the end of our show here, right?
Yeah, well, we've got
the volunteer efforts.
Right.
Which is your responsibility here. What's going on?
Exactly.
I know there was a tornado thing happening.
Right. There's no direct volunteer efforts currently. Just it's an off week, and kind of need to spread things out. But there is an opportunity to get involved. As you probably heard, Nashville and Central Tennessee experienced some pretty destructive tornadoes here this week. And the Nordic is collecting funds to donate to a community organization down there to assist with the recovery efforts. I know also it's Music City Massive, I think, is the crew supporter group down there. So they also had some suggestions for people who want to get involved more directly.
I didn't even know there was a Nashville.
There is
fan group.
Yeah,
they're kind of hosting the Noron tour.
Yeah, so you can find them on Twitter if you want to do that more hands-on sort of thing or pursue other options. But the Nordic account is the way to go if you're interested in donating money for that.
And they're just collecting cash, right?
I believe so.
And the Nashville guys, I think, are the ones directing that cash. So
yeah.
So Nordic is collecting the money, and then the Nashville group is telling them where to donate.
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
I believe there's an option on the Nordeca website where you can donate online.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
So, yeah, it's quick, it's easy, and it's a nice way. That
it was like a F4 tornado on the ground for like 60 miles.
Yeah, I mean, some
really
of
bad,
the pictures, like even David Accam had
I saw
video
the
of his
house was
his apartment is like trashed. So yeah.
Good God.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah, and of course, just in general, there's that need for if you want to get involved with the Nordec leadership committees and that sort of thing. I know they're still looking. I'm sure Rob Gardner would love to have assistance with the merch whenever it comes in. When's it coming in, Brent? I want my fucking hat.
Wait, I thought it was here. Like membership package stuff isn't here yet?
No, I think it is.
I thought it was here. I saw a post that there was a delay from the manufacturer. It's coming soon, from what I understand.
I thought that was like over. I thought it was here now. Maybe I'm wrong.
I just want to shit on.
Well, realistically, you can pick it up at the next home game.
No,
pickup
is not an
all
option.
shipping.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they're just shipping it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you should be receiving it soon if Bront is right, and it's all in now.
And of course, you should also sign up for Tifo Sweat, because if you appreciated the Star Wars Tifo that was on display for the home opener,
which not many people did. We're more of a Star Trek fan base.
Fuck those people.
We can like both things, okay?
Yeah. Don't shit on people for liking things. That's literally the entire point of segment 2.
Mature adults like both.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Mature adults.
People that have children's parts.
Right fanfic
only like one.
of Luke Skywalker and Jean-Luc Picard as a gay couple with a few adorable children.
Butt saber.
Butt saber?
Yeah.
Yeah. And... yeah, so when you're signing up for all this stuff...
Set your butt saber to stun, Darby.
Oh, my butt saber stuns everyone. Yeah.
So when you get involved with those, who do we direct people to?
Team at Save the... No, sorry.
Careful.
No,
Logan is not involved now, and I'm not really involved.
I believe you can get to the Tifo Sweat through the Nordec website. Can't you these days? I think we're going to go with that.
I don't know. There's a whole Slack. There's a Nordic Slack where they organize some stuff.
Yeah, I think there's a Tifo Sweat.
I was kind of interested in...
No, there's channels for Tifo Sweat.
I wanted to get involved in that.
In the Nordic Slack?
No, the Tifo stuff specifically. I wanted to... Now, this is an ambitious effort.
Oh, here we go.
But I wanted to clean out and organize...
That shitty shed?
Yes.
I would love to just light that shed on fire.
Well, it's at the point we're going to have to throw a lot of that stuff away. But
most of it should be.
What I've heard... And a lot of this is speculation.
Conjecture
is that there's a little bit of proprietary. People feel like they own that stuff, and it's a little bit of a sensitive area. I do not want to go wading in there and step on people's shit.
Before Save the Crew stuff started, my next project was going to be going in there and literally throwing it all away.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to ask anyone.
Yeah, because
just do it.
As long as you give people maybe just give notes to me. If it's not out of the shed in the next 3 months,
here's the thing:
it's
a lot
going
of
in
it's
the
not
trash.
salvageable because it's molded.
Well, yeah, it's all gross.
And what are you going to do with it anyway?
We don't use the stuff multiple times anyways.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of embarrassing. So that's something I want to kind of get involved in.
Bro, shut the fuck up.
But not like...
saying.
I mean, some of those things are like years old at this point, right?
Yes.
So you could not reuse them.
No. It is a majority of it. It isn't. I mean, we would wait another year, and it's not even our problem anymore.
Well, but you don't want to leave it like that.
No. Yeah, you should do that to spearhead it. I'll come help you.
All right, let's try to figure something out this spring or summer and do that.
I think that's a great idea.
And then moving forward, I know it's a long time. Well, I wanted to get like a system of tagging everything, and I'll do it next year, whatever. And
organization.
And, keeping that shit organized.
Okay.
That
sounds good.
Yeah.
Should reach out to the Tifos are.
Yeah, Ethan McKinley is in charge of Tifo.
Yep, I'll get a hold of him.
So, and actually, I want to stop on that for a second, because that's what you just offered is an important point. There's a thing you're interested in having happen, in an idea you have, and you are volunteering to execute it.
Yeah.
And that's something that moving forward, everybody should keep in mind. I've already seen this year people doing, you should do this TIFO. Like, I have this idea for this design. That's awesome, and good ideas are always important, but make sure you volunteer to execute it and make it happen.
Well, it's a whole lot more palatable. Like, if I came to John and said, John, I'm not good with graphic design, but I have this idea. Could you help me with it? You're not just laying it on somebody's feet. You're actively being involved, and you're saying, I will paint this myself. I want to paint this. Can you help me or direct me how to get to that end? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's different
absolutely.
when you approach people.
Right.
you don't just be like, do this.
Because really, the only response to why wasn't there a TIFO is, I don't know, why wasn't there?
Right.
Yeah. Because you have just as much responsibility and, like, you can do it. Like, you don't need us to do it. You don't need Morgan to do it. You don't need Ethan to do it. Anyone can do it and make it and set it up.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the connections to do that, then that's understandable.
Well,
and that's
people
fine,
can direct
ask
you to
the people to put you in touch with the people who you need to. Or ask, where should I buy fabric? What kind of paint should I get?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. But don't the days of why isn't this or this should be done are over.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to hear that.
You don't necessarily need a huge skill set. Like, if you think about it, painting letter. I painted an ugly ass banner for my house in the Save the Crew days, and it just like I drew out the letters and painted them.
Right.
And from a distance, it looks fine. You need desire. You need
people
manpower.
with zero artistic ability make posters for college game day every fucking week in the fall.
Yeah.
So
and some of them are fucking hilarious.
Some of them are hilarious and great, and some of them are not.
Whatever.
But whatever. Like, you
believe in yourself
and
do it.
And guess what? You can't do anything well if you don't practice it. And so everybody sucks at it first.
Well, and there is no wrong answer at the end of the day.
Right.
Just do it.
I wasn't a good artist when I started. I've just been doing it now for my whole life.
Yeah, you know what looks good and what doesn't.
Right. Yeah. Anyways, okay. What else is left?
So let's talk about watch parties real quick.
Sure.
And I know all this shit because I'm signed up for the Nordeca newsletter.
Look at you.
I know, right? My inaugural season as an actual Nordeca member.
An extra old? What?
An extra old, yes. I get this cool email now every week that talks about shit that's going on. So
what do you send to your AOL, Darby?
How dare you?
You didn't say. You didn't deny it.
I didn't deny it. No, I have a Hotmail account. That's my old account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Compass.rr.com.
Yeah. It's email.1 at...
No, that's your social security number, Darby.
All right. Watch parties. Endeavor Brewing Company. Pub Mahone, which I have not been to yet, but that's like
this is the new
crew place.
West Ham supporter group meets there, so I think Kevin Grimm had something to do with it. It's on Gay Street. It's a standard little Irish pub.
Right, and if you're wearing crew gear, you get 10% off food and drink during the match, apparently.
Sweet.
So that's cool.
Crew gear?
That's just until the Nordeca membership cards come in.
Arrive. Okay. If you're not a paying Nordeca member, go get Nordeca membership.
Right, get it while you can.
Benefits while you can.
I mean, shit, I always got the discount at 4th Street because I never bothered to check and I was wearing crew stuff. Queen Anne's Revenge has established a location at North High. So they're going to be doing their own watch parties there.
Okay. That's right by the Kroger's
on High Street.
King and High.
Hence North High, dollar off beers during the game. And they will, quote, be doing some pizzas. So if you've ever wanted to fuck a pizza, apparently, this is the place to be.
Hey, we're doing pizza.
We're doing some pizzas.
Are they dollar off all beers, Darby, or just the North High Brewery?
It says $1 off beers during the game. Right. I don't know if North High has anybody else's beers.
Gavin's a good dude.
North High has some great beers. I enjoy their stuff.
All right. They were. We had a Save the Crew thing there one night.
Yeah, so in their production facility.
They're long term. Yeah, they're long-time allies of Crew fans.
Yep. And this email also has listings for watch parties in Cincinnati, Dayton, Cleveland, Akron, and Chicago.
Okay. So and even Dublin Cats will be up at Roosters.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, that's in here. It's just not.
What are the Dublin Cats? Is that just you calling Dublin people cats?
No, Dublin Crew Cats.
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nate Beckman is also involved with that, I believe.
By involved with, he means the only one.
And they're
right. So thank you for reminding me. The Roosters.
270 in Sawmill.
It's just north of 270.
Not the Polaris Parkway.
No, it used to be like a Logan's Roadhouse, I think. It's kind of like tucked back behind, but
okay.
Yeah,
that's so fun. Nice little change of pace.
Everybody be safe. When you're getting out of the game, it's gonna be 12 o'clock or something at night. So just play it chill.
Yeah. If you're going home, if you're going out, be safe on your way home.
Be smart.
Uber if you're drinking.
Yeah, we don't
don't use Uber. Use Lyft.
Yeah, we don't
if you're not careful, you might need a lawyer someday.
That's true.
Dun dun dun.
What's that called, Darby?
That's what they call a tease in the industry.
We'll do that next week. We're going to firm up some details on that, but that is good tease.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good, guys.
Else?
I think that's it.
Do you want some candy?